Hello, how are we all doing? Welcome back to another night of live football, live watch-alongs. We've got La Liga first up, and then we've got the EFL Championship playoff semi-final, Sunderland and Coventry, second leg. One of those is going to be going through to the Wembley final against Sheffield United. But for the time being, we're going to be watching La Liga, a big game at the foot of the table in La Liga. Rock bottom, already relegated. Real Valladolid are up against Girona, who... Girona had a fantastic season last season. They were, in the Champions League. All of a sudden, they've sank like a stone. They've had an absolute disaster. They sold some big players. Obviously, Savinho went and various others left the club, and it's just not quite worked out for them this season. They are currently 4 points from safety, or rather 4 points out of the relegation zone with 3 games left. But they do have a number of teams on their tail. Sevilla, Alaves, Leganés, all still in with a chance. Maybe even Las Palmas as well. All still fighting. All have picked up big results in the last few weeks. So it's a very, very tight relegation battle in La Liga. And Girona here will come into this one thinking, do you know what, we're playing Valladolid. They're already relegated. They've got nothing left to fight for here. It is away from home. It is at Valladolid tonight. But it's a really, really big game for Girona. They'll come here expecting to get something and maybe try to secure safety for next season. And Girona have played decent football this season. Maybe not successful football, but they've played quite attacking football. Games involving Girona have been generally quite high scoring. So, they've conceded quite a lot. The defences haven't been great. And they've scored probably more than the average sort of lower to mid-table La Liga side. So I am fully expecting we will see goals in this one. There's the death knell, isn't it? The Premier League dad death knell. Every time I say that, we always see a 0-0. But listen, I want to say first and foremost, big thank you to everyone who's been supporting the channel. Everyone's been really, really amazing, and lots of growth, lots of new subscribers. We're live right now, not just on YouTube, but we're live on Twitch, we're on X, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, we're on everywhere, wherever your social preference is. Go and check it out. Go and search Premier League Dad and find us. My name's Kieran, Key, whatever you want to call me. Most people call me Key. And a big thank you as well, by the way, to the sponsors of this channel, the sponsors of this live tonight, and every live at Premier League Dad to the end of the season. Match Bingo. Match Bingo are an absolutely fabulous new app. Go and check them out. They are absolutely brilliant. They combine all the excitement of a bet on the football, normal, traditional football and sports betting. If you like a bit of an acca, a flutter on the football, or a parlay as they call in the US, if you like anything like that, I'm absolutely certain you'll love Match Bingo, because it combines all the excitement of that with all the excitement and fun you would associate with a game of bingo. You buy a bingo card for a game of football, whatever it might be, and you get 15 random events on that bingo card. And it will say things like, for example, in tonight's playoff game, it might say corner to Sunderland. It might say free kick to Coventry. And as the game is going along, it will mark those off on your bingo card. You get prizes paid out for a line, prizes for a full house. And they've paid out over £200,000 in prize money already to over 10,000 active players across the UK. It's a fantastic app. It's growing very, very quickly. And right now, if you download the app, whether you're on your phone or on your iPad, whatever it might be, your tablet, other tablets are available. You can download the app right now with the link that is in my description, or you can scan the QR code that will be on screen throughout the live, and you can download it, check it out. If you deposit £5, you get £10 free. You really can't say fairer than that. Go and check it out. It's absolutely brilliant. And a big thank you to Match Bingo for sponsoring the channel for the remainder of this season. But we are going to focus now on Valladolid against Girona. We are about 45 minutes or so away from kickoff. So as we build up to the game, we're going to be talking about all manner of things. We're going to be talking about various bits of news that's come out and about in the football world over the last 24 hours since we finished our last live. Feels like bits and bobs of information have been coming out, mate, whether it be Everton keeping hold of Goodison Park. They're not going to demolish it anymore. That was the plan. They were going to demolish that stadium. Now the women, the Everton women's team, are going to be playing there. It's going to be one of the biggest stadiums in the Women's Super League. That's a big stride forward, isn't it? Really, really positive step, and a really big thing, I think, for Evertonians. Blues will love that. The ancient home sort of thing isn't getting demolished, and rubble, left to rubble. Instead, it's going to be used for its true purpose, you might say. So I want to hear your thoughts on that. I want to hear your thoughts on Trent Alexander-Arnold. I want to hear your thoughts on Liverpool being very, very close to signing Emmanuel Frimpong. Jeremy Frimpong, not Emmanuel Frimpong. Jeremy Frimpong. Very, very close to signing Jeremy Frimpong, allegedly, as well. That broke earlier today. And there's lots of other news that we'll be going throughout the show. So if you've got any thoughts on them, let me know what you're thinking. And also tonight's games as well. Tonight's games, the big playoff game later tonight. Sunderland against Coventry City up at the Stadium of Light. Do we think Sunderland are through in that one, or do you think Coventry can turn it round? We've got plenty of Coventry fans in our community who are very, very active, very vocal in the chat. So I'm sure they will be again tonight. I'm really looking forward to that one. And I thought, look, why we're getting started early with a bit of football? Why not catch a bit of La Liga too while we're at it? This is the early kickoff tonight. There is other La Liga games going on tonight, by the way. Real Sociedad against Celta Vigo. Celta Vigo very much looking to qualify for Europe still, and Real Sociedad fresh off that beating from Atletico Madrid, 4-0. And then there's also Sevilla and Las Palmas, and now that is pretty much a 6-pointer, isn't it? Sevilla and Las Palmas both still down there. Las Palmas in the relegation zone. Sevilla just outside it. They are 6 points clear, but they did have to sleep in their training ground the other night because of violent attacks, fear of violent attacks from their fans. Now, what do you make of that? Is that something that, I mean, again, we've seen violent attacks in football grounds around the world, but that's a new one, I would say, in Spain. Or at least new, certainly recently. I would say that I think, yeah, is that going to give Trent Alexander-Arnold any second thoughts? I don't know. But let me know what you're thinking in the chat, and I'm really, really interested to see what your thoughts are on all of those things. I will go through the lineups very, very shortly for this one, and obviously as they come out for Sunderland and Coventry City. But yeah, let me know your predictions, let me know your thoughts, and we'll get stuck in. I will just go live on TikTok as well. 1 second, let's get going on that. Right, there you go. We are off and underway. So, Valladolid and Girona. Goodness gracious me. So, already relegated Valladolid. They got beat by Mallorca on Saturday. So this clash has a bit of a dead rubber feel to it, I guess, with Girona. But for Girona, it's massive. Yeah, for Girona, it is absolutely huge. They are... they've not been great on the road, I will say, Girona. I think it's seven games without a win on the road. I think it's drawn 2, lost 5. Or it might be lost 5, drawn 2. Yeah, lost 5, drawn 2 it is. Lost 5, drawn 2 on the road for Girona. So... yeah, I'm not holding out too much hope. I've got to level with you. I think it's going to be a pretty, well, maybe not a bleak game. Like I said, it does involve, we will see goals tonight. I am certain of that. Valladolid and Girona, there's always goals when they play, whether it's against each other or other teams. Defensively, they're not sound. So, for example, Valladolid, I'll give you there's only been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So, Valladolid have lost their last 3, 6, 9. Valladolid have lost their last 9 games in a row, right? They've lost their last 9 games in a row, and not only that, they have both teams to score in 6 of the last 7. So, if you like an acca, if you like a flutter, if you like a bit of odds, if you like a bet, then that might be one to look at. Both teams to score tonight, I would say, is an absolute certainty. Girona away from home, exactly the same. So out of 4 of their last 4, all of them have been both teams to score as well. So yeah, for me, it's almost certainly going to be a both teams to score tonight. Scott, how you doing? Good to see you, Scott. I will keep up with the chat, by the way. I do just want to make sure we've got everything going. L. Johnson, will you be watching the Cov game? Yes, I will. Yeah, we're live straight after this for the Coventry City and Sunderland game up at the Stadium of Light. So yeah, we will be live for that one. Absolutely, 1,000,000%. Really looking forward to that one. That's the one. I mean, look, we did the Bristol City game at Bramall Lane last night at Sheffield United, and let's be honest, it was a bit of a dead rubber. We all knew that was going to be Sheffield United walking through to the playoff final, and it turned out to be the case. Bristol City didn't lay a glove on him. It wasn't a great game to watch. It wasn't a particularly enjoyable night, I guess, for Bristol City. I mean, the game was pretty much done and dusted, wasn't it, at Ashton Gate? Yeah, so it was a tough night. Tough night for Bristol City. And I've got to say, I feel sorry for them a little bit, because I think in that first leg, I've got to say, I think the referee got that decision wrong. The decision to send Dickey off in the first leg, I think that was a little bit harsh. A little bit harsh. You should have really been given a penalty and just maybe a yellow card at a push. But a red card for that felt a little bit too much, I thought. But yeah, as I say, we're going to be watching. This one tonight. Girona against Real Valladolid against Girona. That's going to be the first one that we're watching, and then we're going to switch over to Coventry up at the Stadium of Light against Sunderland and see how we get on. Josh, I want to cry after our performance. Bristol City fan, but still proud we got top 6. Yeah, and do you know what, mate? We were saying this on the live last night, Josh. We were saying this last night. It feels like a big step for Bristol City, and maybe it's one that they can carry through into next season. Like you say, proud to get there sort of thing, and you would imagine that next season you'll be one of the favourites again to break that playoff place, and maybe you can make it count next season. Maybe you can even challenge the automatic spots. You never know. Depends who comes down and all that sort of thing, how you get on in the summer. I still think you've not quite got the balance right up front, whether it be Cornick or Wells or the front line just isn't quite front lining. It's not a particularly good attack, I would say, and Bristol City didn't really hurt Sheffield United too much across the two legs, apart from when Williams smashed the crossbar in the first leg. There wasn't really too many other opportunities for them. So yeah, I think that's the one thing that if I was a Bristol City fan, I'd be taking away from it. Josh, no one expected us to finish in the top 6, so he proved everyone wrong there. Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of them things, isn't it? It's one of them things. Will, good to see you. Frimpong is looking closer and closer. He is, yeah. Yeah, 30 million quid or thereabouts. That seems like good value, wouldn't you say, from a Liverpool perspective? 35 million quid, whatever it might end up being. That seems to me to be a smart decision for Liverpool to be replacing Trent Alexander-Arnold with Jeremy Frimpong, someone who's, I would argue, a lot better defensively. Maybe nowhere near as good attacking-wise, but defensively very, very solid Frimpong. Yeah, very, very solid. Gravenberch enthusiast, Frimpong to Liverpool. We will be there. Yeah, this is it, mate. And I do think it's going to change how Liverpool play. My only reluctance would be, I think, that if we sign Frimpong on the right, we're probably not going to sign Kirkes on the left. Yeah, I'm not sure if we'll sign Kirkes on the left. Gravenberch, Frimpong is amazing at attacking. He's good going forward, but he's not Trent, is he? I guess that's my point. I would argue Trent Alexander-Arnold's the best right-back in the world. The difference with Frimpong is if you were comparing the two, you would say Frimpong's nowhere near as good attacking-wise. He's a good player, good attacker, but defensively he's actually much better. I think 1v1 Frimpong is a lot better than Trent. A lot better. Sam, we need Isak. I'm not convinced on Isak. I'm really not. Really not, Isak is... it's going to cost a lot of money, mate. It's going to cost a lot of money. 150 million or whatever it might be to get him. I think we can get better than that. Or better value, let's say. Better value. Gravenberch, Frimpong can play right back and right wing when Salah goes to the AFCON. Well, the AFCON's in the summer, isn't it, this year? Is it this year or next year? I can't remember. It's in it's in the summer, so they're not. I'm sure the next AFCON isn't in January. I could be right in saying that. Let me have. I've questioned myself now. I've said something, and now I've got to back it up. I'm almost certain the next AFCON. When is it being played? AFCON 2025. Yeah, I'm completely lying. It's 21st of December to the 18th of Jan. So I was totally lying there. I don't know where that came from. Was the last AFCON in summer? AFCON 2023. When was that played? Again, that was January and February. Where have I got that from? I'm sure there was the talks about AFCON being in the 2027, not 2027, in the summer. There was talks. I'm sure I've seen that somewhere. I have absolutely seen that somewhere. Gravenberg enthusiast. In AFCON is always... I know it's always mid-season. Sometimes it's December, January. Sometimes it's January, February. But there was talks. There was something. And I don't know where I've got it in my head. That the next AFCON or future AFCON, whatever it might be, is going to be played in the summer. Which, given the heat in Africa, you would imagine it would have to be played, I don't know where, maybe slightly more north of the equator. Maybe it's in a colder part of... I don't know, there's not too many cold parts of Africa, is there? Gravenberg, Alvarez, Prem proven, get him in. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I would rather Alvarez than Isak, personally. My personal opinion, I would rather Alvarez than Isak. Razine, how you doing? Will you do watch along for tomorrow's Real Madrid game? Biggest hate watch of the season. If they lose, we win the league. No, mate, tomorrow we're doing... Who is it we've got tomorrow night? I can't remember who we've got tomorrow night. It isn't Real Madrid, though. No, it isn't Real Madrid. We are doing a La Liga game tomorrow. But there's a game. There's a Thursday night game. Who is it? Or rather a Wednesday night. Who's playing tomorrow night? It's I think it's the League One game. Is it League One? I think it's the League One playoffs. Yeah, it's Stockport and Leyton Orient. That's who's playing tomorrow night, Razine. So we're watching the we're watching the League One playoff semi-final second leg over Real Madrid. So no, I won't be watching that. My full schedule, by the way, if you want to check it out, my full schedule is over on YouTube. All the games that we're going to watch between now and the end of the season are pretty much all published on there, certainly for the next 2 weeks anyway. The Champions League final, the Europa League final. I'm adding more games every single day, but we're doing at least two watch-alongs every day, pretty much solid to the end of the season. So you can go and check out what that schedule looks like, and you can obviously hit your notifications for the games that you want to watch and you think might be interesting. Scott, how you doing, Scott? Good to see you. Sam, otherwise, Pavlidis from Benfica is amazing this year, really clinical. He's had a good decent season, Pavlidis, but I'm not sure I would be wanting him at Liverpool just yet. I think he needs a bit more. There's strikers, like, good, yeah, he's good, and then you need, like, top. And I don't know if Pavlidis is there yet. We're just too crazy. Who's playing? It is Valladolid, rock bottom in La Liga. Real Valladolid against Girona. It's a relegation clash in La Liga. And to be honest, I was saying this in the chat earlier, these two, there's always goals. Both teams to score is an absolute certainty tonight. 7 of the last games involving Valladolid have been both teams to score. 4 out of the last 5 for Girona have been both teams to score. So you would imagine it's going to be goals in this one, which almost certainly now means it's going to be 0-0. Now I've said that. Sam, he could be an underrated striker. Alvarez. Dream Chasers boss, who's the best country? The best country in what sense? I don't know what you mean. In the AFCON? In the AFCON, I don't know, mate. I mean, Egypt's always, good with Salah now, and obviously they've got Marmoush up there. Senegal have nearly always been pretty competitive in the AFCON. Morocco's starting to play quite well, obviously, as well. But there's a few, yeah. It's always, I like watching the AFCON. I really like watching it. We'll be doing watch-alongs for that next year, I'm sure. Sam, otherwise, Pavlidis from Benfica is amazing. James Gallagher, watch Celtic v Aberdeen. No. Definitely not. No, we are doing an SPL. Oh, we've done a few SPL games. We did obviously the Old Firm last weekend, but no, I'm not going to be watching Celtic and Aberdeen. Arno Pavlidis is not better than Darwin. If anybody from Portugal, Liverpool should look to, it is Gyökeres. Yeah, Gyökeres would be one. I'm sure, apparently the rumours are that Liverpool have looked at Gyökeres, Osimhen, Sesko, Isak and Alvarez. They're the 5 options that Liverpool are looking at right now, between now and obviously the end of the season. They're the ones that we've been assessing, and at least one of, well, not at least, I'm sure it'll just be one of them will be the one that we end up going for. Maybe Darwin leaves, maybe even Jota leaves, I don't know. But at least one of them, I would imagine, will come in. Razine, Sunderland doing all dirty just to lose. Callum, Frimpong is so close, can't wait. Next, Kirkes. I don't think we get Frimpong and Kirkes, Callum. No, I don't think we get both of them. I think if we get Frimpong, then we probably get Hato. Just because of the height difference. Kirkes and Frimpong would be a little bit reckless, I would say, because both of them are kind of attack-minded, aren't they? Frimpong's a good 1v1 defender, and Kirkes isn't bad defensively, but I think we'd be playing too high with them two. You need a good, solid sort of left-sided centre-back, a bit like City play Gvardiol. I think Hato would be one we look at there. Razine, your opinion about Sam Omarodion? Samu, yeah, from Porto. Again, decent young player, very nearly ended up going to Chelsea, didn't he? Came from Atletico Madrid, ended up nearly going to Chelsea, but I don't think he's one I would look at for Liverpool. No. Not for just yet. Maybe he will come to the Premier League at some point. I'm fairly certain of that, but not with Liverpool just yet. East Anglian boy, good to see you, mate. Does Amorim... what's the question, sorry? Does Amorim leave United if they don't win the Europa? No, I don't think so, mate. No, I don't think so. I think Amorim's still going to be here next season. And that's great, isn't it? That's great from a Liverpool fan's perspective. That's fantastic. That's what we want. Amorim staying at the club. That's what we want to see. The lowest win percentage of any Manchester United any Manchester United manager over the last 40 years. The lowest win percentage. Absolutely dreadful. The club is basically rock bottom, apart from the teams at the bottom in the relegation zone. They're basically 17th, aren't they? There or thereabouts. They'll win nothing this season. Spurs are going to win the Europa League. And United are in the mud. They're in the mud. The gap between Liverpool and Manchester United has never, ever been bigger. It's never been 40 points or more. Never, ever been more than 40 points. And right now, it's the biggest it has ever, ever been in the history of football. Over 100 years of football. Never, ever been this big. Reece, Klopp or Wenger? Klopp. You've got to win a European Cup. You've got to win a European Cup to be in that conversation. Ryan Leatherbarrow, Coventry, please go through tonight for my uncle. He's a huge fan. Will we be watching that? Yeah, we'll be watching that. We'll be watching. Edward, why not like Celtic v Aberdeen? Will be good. We've got other games on that are better. That's it. Other games on. Nicholas Arno, rather getting Kirkes than Frimpong. I like Kirkes, but I think Frimpong makes more sense. Plus, he's homegrown as well. He is homegrown. And I think Robbo, I think, is still going to be our number one next season. Doesn't matter who we bring in. So I would rather us go for Hato, because then he can sort of gradually adjust to the Premier League and slowly come in. Slowly he can kind of move in. So, I don't think Kirkes is the right signing for Liverpool. If he does come in, great. We'll support him, obviously. But I think Frimpong coming in, if that is indeed what happens, I fully suspect that we'll see Hato or maybe a left-sided centre-back coming in on that on that other side. Beetlejuice, United better than Liverpool. Yeah, great. Yeah, the table tells you all that, doesn't it? Table says that. Sam Vaughan, what team do you support? I'm a Liverpool fan, Sam. Liverpool fan, but we watch everyone on this channel. We're currently about to watch Valladolid against Girona, and then tonight we're going to watch Sunderland against Coventry in the playoff semi-final. So, if you like watch-alongs, stick around. Or go and check us out on YouTube. Obviously, we've got loads of nearly 5,000 subscribers on YouTube. AK, where are you? AK, another Liverpool supporter, and not even Scouse. Well done. What do you mean? I'm not. Who's professing to be Scouse? I'm not professing to be Scouse. I was the guy who used to play for West Brom. Yeah, true. Scouse House, you okay with Key? Can't wait to see Trent leave. Frimpong has better stats than Trent in most things. Absolutely agree. Yeah, I'm good, mate. Thank you. Hope you're good too. Frimpong is much, much better defensively. The one thing that stands out with Frimpong is Trent has been dispossessed 57 times this season. 57 times this season. Frimpong has only been dispossessed 57 times across the last 4 seasons. So he's 4 times better defensively. He's much better in his 1v1s. Doesn't lose the ball anywhere near as much. And doesn't give up as many chances. So defensively, we are upgrading, even if we are downgrading offensively. So we're gonna have to step the attack up a notch. But defensively, I think we're upgrading. FM No Casual, such a bold statement coming from a United fan. Oh yeah. Right, Beetlejuice can get in the bin because he's just being a little bit disrespectful now, aren't you, Beetlejuice? Someone's hurt you, haven't they? Someone has hurt you. Someone has hurt you in your life. I don't know who it is, but we're gonna just give you a little bit of time out, mate. How has Gazaniga ended up at Girona? I rate him as a goalkeeper hugely. Yeah, he was all right, wasn't he? At Spurs and Southampton for a little bit, he was all right. Yeah. Edward, you doing the Sunderland game? I am, yes, mate. I am. Yeah, we're going to do the Sunderland game straight after this. Callum, no, we don't. For me, Robbo and Trent worked. None of the sheeping of Arsenal and City for me. It's not about sheeping them, mate. I just think you can't play 2 very small fullbacks who play very, very high. Like, if you're playing one, you should probably... And that's what Arne Slot has done. That if you look at Arne Slot at his time at Feyenoord, he's preferred that. So I really do think that's where we'll end up. We'll probably end up with a slightly different shape, I guess, at the back. Why don't we get Alphonso Davis from Real Madrid? Or from Bayern Munich. No, again, I don't think so. Again, it's going to cost too much, isn't it? Scouse House Key, can you block Beetlejuice calling us stuff? I have, mate. Well, I've just muted him. I don't know if does that just mute him for me? I think that just mutes him for everybody, doesn't it? He can't be in the chat. I've just muted him. No, Alonso doesn't play the same system as Slot. I hope to be wrong, but I don't see him fit that well. Well, no, I think he will. He will probably get more joy or slightly more protection because they'll play 3 centre backs, won't they? But he still has to be very, very good in his 1v1s, Trent, and he isn't. He isn't. And that's going to be what lets him down. That is really going to be what lets him down. So, yeah, for me, I think we're going to have to wait and see. But, in my opinion, it's going to be a tough adaptation period for Trent. Scouse House, love to see him say it to us. He'd go home in a bag. M157, good to see you, mate. Who's playing, lad? It is Real Valladolid against Girona. Rock bottom, Real Valladolid against Girona. And again, I've said it a few times now, but I'll keep saying it. It's almost certain to be both teams to score this one. Almost certain. We've got some ex-Premier League players in there. Daley Blind, Arta, Oriol Romeu, Gazaniga. There's a few players in there you'll remember, you'll recall from the Premier League days. I'll go through the lineups in a moment. But the last 7 games of the last 7 games of Valladolid have been both teams to score. The last 4 out of the last 5 for Girona have been both teams to score. So, almost certainly, all the stats point to both teams to score in this one. Valladolid are already down. Girona are 3 points from safety with 3 games left. So, they need to get a win here. You would imagine they'd be favourites. They need to get a win here to try and get safe. Ryan Leatherbarrow, whoever thinks United is bigger, and then we have the same titles, but double the Champions Leagues, correct. Ruben, who is your favourite replacement for Trent? I mean, it looks like it's going to be Frimpong. Yeah, I think that makes sense. He's 30 million quid, there or thereabouts. Seems like an obvious sort of replacement. He's homegrown, so he ticks the English box, at least in that sense. He qualifies as English in the Champions League sense, so we don't have to have an extra foreign place in the team. Because he spent 9 years at City in the academy when he was however old. I think he was not even a teenager. He was at City, so he qualifies as homegrown. I think Frimpong is good value, 30 million quid. I think he's an upgrade on Trent defensively, but offensively he might still need a little bit of work getting into Arne Slot's system and whatever else. So looking forward to seeing how that adapts. And we probably need to sign someone slightly different on the left other than Kirkes. Jim, hi mate, how you doing? Good to see you, Jim. I'm doing really well. Yeah, doing really, really well. Looking forward to this one. Valladolid against Girona. Again, to be honest, I am looking forward to Sunderland Coventry maybe a touch more. This was just on and I thought, go on, we'll watch it. Why not? Why not? It's a game of footy, we'll put it on. Why not? But I'm really looking forward to the Sunderland and Coventry game later on. So again, forgive the pink cup. It's my missus' cup. I've just pinched it for tonight. It's becoming a common theme, isn't it? Come on, you Maggies. You watching the Sunderland match soon? Yes, I am, mate. Yeah. Fabi, we are Liverpool. You'll never walk alone. Good to see you. Ruben, he's practically a winger at Leverkusen. The thing is, mate, Frimpong is better defensively than Trent. He really is. He really is. Come on, you Maggies. You're watching the Sunderland match soon. Yes, mate. Coventry first. Coventry and Sunderland we're watching after this one. Valladolid against Girona. Ruben, just because he plays there on FIFA, it doesn't mean he can defend. Mate, all of his defensive stats are miles better than Trent. His 1v1s, his possession lost, possession regained, it's a lot better than Trent's. Go and have a look at it, I promise you. It's much, much better than Trent Alexander-Arnold in his defensive side. Attacking-wise, of course, Trent Alexander-Arnold is better, so I'm not going to try and argue that. But defensively, I would say it's an upgrade, personally. He also does play right-back for the Dutch team as well. So we're not talking about a player that hasn't played right-back. Yes, he plays quite advanced in Alonso's system. Doesn't mean he's not capable of playing right-back. Up the mags, he's statistically a worse defender than Trent. That's categorically not true. Again, Trent Alexander-Arnold has been dispossessed 57 times this season. Jeremy Frimpong has been dispossessed 57 times across the last 4 seasons. It's not even close. 1v1s, Frimpong's better. Trent loses the ball more. He makes more defensive errors. I would argue we're upgrading. We're upgrading defensively. Defensively, at least. Not attacking-wise. I'd still say Trent is the best right-back in the world. But Frimpong is certainly not a bad replacement. For 30 million quid, it's not a bad replacement at all. Hello, how you doing, Mo? How you doing the watch along for Cov? Yes, mate. Yeah, we're live for this. Straight after this one, Valladolid and Girona. We're going to be doing Sunderland and Coventry straight after that. Yeah, absolutely. So we will be watching that one. Hopefully, Cov win. Dream Chasers. That right winger for Girona is decent. Sigankov. Yeah, Sigankov. Yeah, he's been around the block a little bit, hasn't he, Sigankov? But he had a really good season last year. He's not been too bad this year, but it has kind of fallen off, as you'd expect, in line with how Girona have fallen off. Up the mags, no, he's not. Look at the stats. He's worse in every start. Worse in tackles, clearances, blocks. Mate, I don't know where you're looking. Trust me, I've looked at them all. In fact, I'm doing a video on exactly that. I've got all the stats. I've got all the receipts. So I'll be doing a video on it. Go and check it out. There's absolutely loads. There's a wealth of evidence on it. Frimpong defensively is certainly an upgrade on Trent. The only thing you could argue is, in terms of goals conceded and whatnot, the argument is that Liverpool are obviously a better defensive side than Leverkusen. So maybe Frimpong's conceded more goals than Trent. So if you want to look at a really base statistic like that, then yeah, maybe Trent is better. But once you get down into the nitty-gritty, the granular stuff, Frimpong is the ones that matter. The ones that I think matter, Frimpong is a better defender. And as I said, dispossessed is the obvious statistic that everyone's looked at, and that metric, just that one metric, Frimpong is 4 times better. 4 times better than Trent. Just on that one metric, dispossessed, Frimpong has been absolutely miles better. Up the marks, you've just compared a stat about dribbling. It's not about dribbling, it's dispossessed. Dispossessed. Errors leading to goals. Dispossessed. All of that. It's honestly, Frimpong, again, we can talk about it now. I can't show you the images. I can't show you the receipts, right? But we will go through all the receipts. I'm making a video on it as we speak. So if you're interested in seeing that, by all means, go and subscribe on YouTube. Go and check it out. If you're not, then fine. Breeze on by. Keep peddling the lies, sunshine. Ryan, tell them, bro, they don't agree with me, and you're proving me right. Sir Butty, I bet he doesn't go to Liverpool. He might not. Yeah, he might not. This is the thing. Frimpong is linked with a lot of other clubs. So, maybe he will go to somewhere else. But I think 30 million quid, that's a bargain, I would say, for a player that's a competent right back. He's the one that's been linked with Liverpool all summer. And yeah, for me, I think Trent's the best right back in the world. You're never ever going to be replacing him with better. But Frimpong will allow Liverpool to become a slightly different team. I think defensively he's better. Attacking wise he's not, but defensively he'll enable us to be a lot better. I think a lot different. It's just different, isn't it? It's going to be different. We're probably going to have to do something different on the left hand side. That's why I don't think we go for Kirkes. I think on the left hand side it's far more likely to be a Hato or maybe a Geertruiden or someone of that ilk on the left-hand side. Maybe a taller... Hanko from Feyenoord was another one they talked about when Slot came in last season. You know what I mean? I'm talking a taller, more physically imposing, left-sided centre-back. A bit like how Gvardiol plays for City. Also how Nico O'Reilly plays for City as well. Even though O'Reilly seems to be playing as a centre-forward a lot of the time for City. Jim, is it true that Zubamendi is about to sign for the Gunners? Yeah, I think it is, Jim. I reckon Sheffield United get promoted. I hope not. I really hope not. I'm really rooting for Coventry or Sunderland, to be honest. Anyone other than Sheffield United, in my opinion. Callum, Kieran is a stat padder. I'm not a stat padder. Someone's asking me about stats, specifically in relation to Frimpong and Trent. I am just denying that the stats show one thing. Again, you can... What's the old adage? Lies, damn lies, and statistics. You can interpret stats 1,000,001 ways, and you can use stats to show whatever agenda you want to push. So, look, as far as I'm concerned, we're upgrading defensively. I think there's a number of stats that evidence that. If you disagree, then fine, you disagree. Callum Dumfries is the better option for me. Well, Dumfries has had a good season, but, I mean, look, there's a lot of people who wouldn't have said that 12 months ago. So, is it maybe, could it be argued that you're being a little bit reactive there, Callum? Could you be being a bit OTT, a bit dramatic, because he's had a good season? Sometimes players have a good season, doesn't always mean they're the best in the world, you know what I mean? Just form. Sometimes players are in form, and it happens, Christ, how many times have we seen a player have an absolute wonder season, and then the season after the crap? Happens loads. It happens all the time. And, if you look at one season, you'd look at him and think, Jesus, yeah, mate, we need to go and spend big cash on him. And Liverpool have done that. Christ, Liverpool have done that umpteen times over the years, and it's never quite worked out. Nicholas Arnold, stats aside, just doesn't feel right in my gut. And again, hope to be wrong. Yeah, well, I think to me, with Frimpong, it just looks good value, doesn't it? 30 million quid. 30 million quid for Frimpong. You're not going to find a right back who is at least... Let's say you disagree that he's better than Trent. or at least better than Trent on some things. Let's say you would argue he's a downgrade in everything. He's still not far. Like, he's not... If Trent's a 9 out of 10 right back, Frimpong's like a 7.5, maybe an 8 out of 10, right? So, for me, you're not going to get anywhere close to that sort of a right back, anywhere comparable to Trent, for anywhere close to 30 million quid. You're going to have to go and pay big, big cash. You are going to have to go and pay big, big cash. So, and I think Liverpool are going to throw their money elsewhere this summer. Up the mags, I'd expect a winger to be dispossessed less than a fullback. He's not a winger. He's not a winger. Jake Pike, 96, Paul Leverkusen are getting torn apart. Well, they've not been great, have they? They've not been great this season. They've fallen apart at the final hurdle. And there's a few games where I've looked at them and thought they were a pale shadow of themselves of last season. Ben, Frimpong goal, but done, mate. Made up, but sorry for Connor Bradley. Connor Bradley will still kick on as a Liverpool right back. Yeah, he'll still kick on as a right back. So do you think Kirkez is now dead in the water? I don't think it's dead in the water. I just don't think it's the right thing to do. I don't agree it's the right thing to do. If it was me in charge, then I wouldn't be going for Kirkez. I mean, if it was me in charge, I probably wouldn't be going for Frimpong. But now we are. I don't think Kirkez makes sense. I don't want us to have two attack-minded fullbacks who are both quite physically small in stature. I think that makes us quite vulnerable to the diagonals. If you think how a lot of teams play up against that, the way that they tend to play is they'll hit it long and they'll get tall wingers, wingers who are physical, who can, go and beat Kirkez in the air. It's not going to be too difficult. They'll win that and then they'll go for the second balls. And that'll be the way that teams beat Liverpool next season. Especially teams lower down the league who are happier to play that way. They'll hit it long, they'll get physical with our fullbacks, and they'll try to win the second balls. So it seems like an obvious tactic if you've got two very diminutive fullbacks. So for me, no, I wouldn't go Kirkez on the left. I would go maybe Hato. Hato's already been to Anfield. He's already been to Anfield and watched the game earlier this season. So yeah, I think it looks to me like he's going to be a Liverpool player. Tom, Frimpong's been at the training ground today. None of the reporters know about it yet. Really? Tom, how do you know then? Tom, my mate's brother works at the AXA training ground. He gets me all the lineups a few days before. Nice. Well, cheers, Tom. Stick around. We could do with some insider information. Stick around. No skill Aaron, United, Frimpong getting a right back. Ryan Leatherbarrow, he's right mid and right back, plays both this season. Honestly, mate, listen, don't even bite, Ryan. Don't even bite with them. They're just on a wind-up. I promise you, they are just on a wind-up. That is all it is. That they're saying, no, he's not even a right back. Like a guy who's not played... He's played right back for the Netherlands. He played right back for hundreds of games throughout his career. But because he's played half a season at right wing, or he's played a few games at right wing and he's a lot more attacking, they're arguing he's a right winger and actually he's not. Listen, do you think Arne Slot's going to sign a right winger and put him at right back? It ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. He's not stupid. He's just breezed the Premier League in his first season. I think he knows a little bit more than, Joe Blogs on TikTok. No skill Aaron, he's a right wing back. At most, not a right back. But he has played right back for hundreds of games in his career. Hundreds of games. Tom Kirkez being done at the end of the season. That would be interesting. Yeah, that would be interesting. Aaron, you can't have both Frimpong and Kirkez in the same team. I would agree with that, Aaron. I would agree with that. My gut is that I don't think we'd have Kirkez and Frimpong because it would make us vulnerable. Unless, the only thing I would caveat that with is if there's going to be a big change in the midfield. The only thing I would say is if we had Kirkez left and Frimpong right, they're both quite small, I could see that working if we end up going and signing a Baleba. Or, let's say a proper number 6. Someone who's going to really be if Tchouameni's one that's been linked again. Tchouameni's been linked from Real Madrid. Someone like that. If we got a Tchouameni in, or, we wanted Caicedo, we wanted Lavia. If we got someone like that in, that might make a touch more sense. Because then it wouldn't just be Van Dijk and Konate. It would be Van Dijk, Konate, and maybe Tchouameni. And then those two fullbacks can stay high. So that makes sense, doesn't it? but it just feels like we'd be overloaded quite easily. Nicholas Arnold, so if you wouldn't go for Frimpong, who would you go for? Personally, I've said for quite a while, mate, I would have kept Bradley and kept him in the right back slot, or gone for maybe a more experienced right back that isn't going to hurt Bradley. I'd have gone for maybe someone like Munoz at Palace. No, I was thinking Wan-Bissaka at West Ham. No, Munoz at Palace would have been one I would have looked at. Kimmich was obviously another one that was being talked about earlier in the season. If we'd have got Joshua Kimmich in, I think he would have been a great option, because it would have meant we've got that experience and that cover and that leadership on that side, and Bradley could just kind of grow into the role a little bit. So I was hoping for that. Matthew, have you watched Squid Game? No, mate, I haven't. Kuram, how you doing? Hey, Prem Dad, I did say to you Inter Milan will get Champions League final, and so will Man United Europa League. Well, we shall see, mate. We shall see. HR, get on the beers, son. No chance, not on the beers. We're watching Valladolid against Girona. Jake Pike 96, just because he has a right wing card on FIFA doesn't necessarily mean he is. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Crazy to think he came from Celtic, to be fair. Well, he played for Celtic. He actually came from the City Academy. That guy, Jack, mate, I'm watching you in maths again. Right, well, don't get in trouble this time. Keep me on silent. Nick, Rodrigo to Arsenal. Rodrigo's not going to Arsenal. Why would he go to Arsenal? He wouldn't get a kick. Rodrigo, or who's he going to play over? He isn't going to go there and be back up to Saka. It ain't going to happen. I know, I'd also rather let Bradley be the number one, more worried about the left-back position, to be honest. See, I'm not. I'm really calm about the left-back position. I think Andy Robertson's still one of the best left-backs around. I'd be happy keeping Andy Robertson and going getting like Hato. Like I said, Hato's a really young lad. He's only just, 19, 20, he's still young. So go and get someone who's the equivalent of Conor Bradley and keep Robertson and maybe a Munoz or someone like that on the right-hand side. That would make more sense to me. Because if you go and get a 24, 25-year-old right-back or left-back, they've got, years ahead of them. They're still developing. And it just kind of disincentivises the guy behind them, doesn't it? I think if you're Conor Bradley and you look at that, you go, I'd be a bit despondent. I'd probably be going to the manager and saying, look, I know, that obviously says to me you don't think I can replace Trent. Or you've not got a lot of faith in me. Frederick Berger. Hi, how are you, sir? Good to see you, Frederick. I am very good, thank you. Yeah, very, very good. Callum, I've watched Dumfries for the last 3 years. He's been class. Jim, have Liverpool give up on Alvarez? No, I don't think we have give up on him. I think it depends very much on what happens with Darwin Núñez, because there's rumours Núñez goes to Atleti and Alvarez comes to Liverpool. And if that's the case, then great. I'd love that. That would be perfect. But yeah, I don't think for 1 second we've given up on Alvarez. We've liked him for some time. And I don't know, maybe Slot disagrees. The club have tried to sign Alvarez 2 times, I think, under Klopp. So, I don't know. And that was under Ward and it was under Edwards as well. So both times we've looked at him. So I just wonder whether or not we'll go back in again. Especially seeing as Atleti, it's not quite working out for him there. James Moss, thoughts on Goodison not being knocked down? Will the seats still get ripped out and sold on eBay? It's good, isn't it? It's nice that Goodison's not going to be knocked down. It's good for them. They're going to have the women's team playing there. It's a big stride forward for the women's game. It'll be one of the biggest WSL grounds, won't it? I would imagine as well. So, yeah, good. Nice. It's nice. You don't want to see big old grounds getting knocked down so easily, so readily. And I think Everton. Do you know what? Actually, that might be the home of Manchester United in years to come. Think about it. If Man United are going to knock down Old Trafford and build this fantastic new stadium, they're going to need to play somewhere else for a few years, and it might well be Goodison Park is the obvious choice. I wonder. Jim, I think you need to buy a keeper. We've got a keeper. We've got Mamadashvili. We've got Alisson. We've got Mamadashvili. We've got Kelleher, and we've got Yaros. Liverpool have got at least 3 top keepers right now. So Yeah, goalkeeper's the least of our worries. And Yaros actually was really good when he played the few times this season. So, yeah, not too bad. Jim, where do you think Chiesa will go? Chiesa. I think he'll go back to Italy. I don't think he stays. Callum, Dross take about Robbo. He's finished. Accept it. He has 1 assist all season. There's no out news on the Atleti, and we don't seem to be pursuing Núñez now. Right, yeah, again, it seems to me we've got a core of very naive fans who seem to look at this and go, like Dumfries, I've watched him 12 months, he's had a great season, he's the best right back in the world. Robertson's had a poor season, he's crap, he's useless, get him gone. It's ridiculous to me, but that seems to be the modern football fan to me. So, what was I going to say? Arno, Ginger Jamie, hello, why are you watching nothing games? Because it was on. I'm watching the Sunderland Coventry game later, and this one's on, so I thought, hey, why not? Why not? Bit of a... And it's not a nothing game. There is an awful lot riding on this. As I say, Girona still have to, try and secure La Liga status. So, Frederick Berger, what team in London is for watch to first time in London? West Ham. Go and watch West Ham. Jake Pike, 96. He'd probably play up front for Arsenal. Rodrigo. Well, yeah, knowing Arteta would probably convert him to a right back. Arno, Andy Robertson is amazing, but doesn't have the stamina anymore. And Tsimikas is dreadful. I mean, he has looked more leggy. I will say that with Andy Robertson. He's looked more leggy since Arne Slotter's come in. And I think that's because Slotter's asked slightly more of him than Klopp did. And obviously, look, he's getting on. He's not old. He's certainly not done. I think he's just struggled to adapt with the new system that Slotter's asked him to play. So, if we were to get a different, a right back in who's maybe a bit better, then Liverpool could play, as I say, on that tilt. It's not going to be a simple, straightforward, 4-3-3 or whatever. We're going to play in a changed formation, multiple. In Valladolid, Ginger Jammy, Arsenal much better than Liverpool. League table says different, Jammy. Josh, love the background, mate. Cheers, Josh. Freddie Berger, my team play for the MLS. Montreal, nice. Dream Chasers, is Bramley-Moore Dock a lot further away from Anfield? Yeah, Bramley-Moore Dock is the docks. It's the seafront. It's the city centre, basically. It's right down the front. Frederick Berger is September in to go to London first time. Nice, Frederick. Josh, Arteta ain't the guy to get Arsenal trophies, in my opinion. He's done a good job, but we need a winner. Arteta just needs to... I don't know. He's changed his title at the club, hasn't he? He came in as first team coach. He's now manager. He's increased his responsibility at the club. Feels like this new guy who's come in, the director of football, is it Berta? How's that going to work? There's so much at Arsenal that just doesn't feel right for me. And I do think he'll be gone closer to Christmas time. Whether he gets the summer right, because he's made 2 big signings up front, centre forward, and he's got both of them wrong. He's paid whatever it was, 110, 120 million combined for Havertz and Gabby Jesus, and now he wants to replace him. So he's not particularly strong on the transfer market, is he? Unknown FRX, how likely is Frimpong? It's looking very likely, isn't it? Very, very likely. Callum, hi, watching from a boiling room in my Spurs shorts. Yeah, it's been red hot today, hasn't it? Callum, is it true Tottenham want Jota? Yeah, I would hope so. I'd like Jota to go to another top Premier League club. I think he would get better chances there, more minutes, and I think Jota would be Spurs' best centre forward. I love Jota. I love him to bits. I just think he's not quite... His fitness is a concern for me, and he has fallen off a little bit this season. Bate, hi brother, new to your channel. I hope to enjoy your content. All the best. Nice, thank you very much, Bate. I appreciate that. Hopefully I've pronounced the first name right there. But yeah, stick around, give us a like and a subscribe and all that good stuff. Massively helps the channel. I appreciate it. Unknown FRX, Arteta shouldn't get sacked. He's so delusional, like his fan base. Let me just start the old, not the clock, the team sheets. I've not gone through the team sheets with you. So let me just get that going, and we can go through it all. So, team sheets for tonight's game is, in goal, it is Karl Hein, Estonian goalkeeper, Karl Hein. Anoa right back, Parente Oskasar, Henrique at the back for Valladolid, and then it's Comert and Martin, Chucky, Grilic, Moro, and Latassa up front. Juan Latassa, who still, I mean, there was a lot thought of him, wasn't there, when he came through the Madrid academy. He's not quite settled, whether it was at Getafe last season. He's finally got a move to Valladolid, but there was a lot thought of Juan Latassa, but it hasn't quite worked out for him. And for Girona, it's Gazaniga in goal. Daley Blind, ex-Manchester United Daley Blind, is starting at left back. Then it's Juanpi, Lopez and Martinez. Arno Martinez, again, another player who a lot is thought of. Maybe a player that could be targeted with a move to the Premier League himself. Maybe not a Trent replacement, but could move to the Prem. Blind, Juanpi, Lopez and Martinez at the back. Arthur Melo, ex-Liverpool. Arthur Melo and Oriol Romeu, ex-Chelsea, ex-Southampton. And ex-Barcelona, of course, Oriol Romeu. And then Aspria on the left, Porto in the centre, Sigankov on the right, and Abel Ruiz up front. Abel Ruiz, again, another forward for whom lots was expected. Came through the Barcelona academy, went to Braga, did well at Braga, but didn't quite work out when he went to Girona in the summer. He's not had a particularly strong season since moving in from Braga. Callum, what time is the Coventry game? Is that what you're asking there? Sorry. Just trying to make sure that I've got the... When is the Coventry game? So the Coventry game kicks off at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. kickoff. Let me just get back onto the other chat. Sorry, 1 second. Arno always felt Jota played better in the wing than in the centre. I think he's our best finisher, Jota. I would argue he's our best finisher, but he just doesn't, for me anyway, I just don't think he gets enough regular starts, and a big part of that is because of the fact he's never fit. He's never fit, and when he's fit, he's brilliant. He usually starts most games. I think the reason that Darwin Núñez has been dropped by Slot is allegedly that we owe Benfica more money, isn't it? Apparently we owe Benfica more money if Darwin Núñez starts playing regular minutes. So that's why Núñez has been very, very frustrated. Callum, okay, cheers, mate. I'm going to have to watch it. Could be a good game. It will be. It'll be a very good game, that one. Yeah, Sunderland and Coventry will be amazing. Scott, will you be doing the other game, pal? Yes, mate. As soon as this one finishes, we'll be doing the other one. As I say, this one's only 6 minutes in, so there's still a long, long way to go in this one. But I'll keep you updated. If you just want to have a general chinwag, general chat about the footy, then let me know. Will, can you imagine if Arsenal don't get a striker? They will. Of course they will. They'll definitely get a striker. I can imagine it would be intense, but the intensity probably wouldn't be aimed at Mikel Arteta. It would be aimed at the board, because the fans are now that frustrated, not just by the fact that they failed to catch Manchester City for 2 years, but now they're really frustrated that, you know, Arne Slot has breezed in with someone else's team, you know, a team that they finished comfortably ahead of for 2 seasons. Arne Slot has come in, hasn't signed anyone, and absolutely walked the title, like had it wrapped up by basically Christmas. So I think that's the frustration for Arsenal fans now, isn't it? That they're looking at it and going, yeah, I can't stand this again. We need to really just go out and sign someone who's like ready, sort of thing. Like, if you listen to Lee Judges and the others who are on AFTV and some of the other football channels, some of the other Arsenal fan channels, they were talking about if they go and get a striker, it absolutely has to be like an Isak. They don't want a striker coming in who's like, let's give him 1 or 2 years to adapt to the league. They don't want a Sesko. They don't want a Jonathan David. They want a Gyökeres, an Osimhen, an Isak. That's what they want. They want Arsenal to go out and show their mettle, put the things on the table and say, right, listen, we are absolutely coming for that title. We mean business. And if we're dead honest, Zubimendi isn't really showing that sign, is it? It's not really showing that sign. If they go and get Zubimendi, that's not like, wow, what an unbelievable signing that is for Arsenal. That's really like game changer for them. He's a good player. He's a very good player. But I'm not sure that Zubimendi makes Arsenal a significantly better team, especially if they lose Partey. Scott, what about Stockport County? Yeah, County is tomorrow night, mate. County is tomorrow night, so we'll be doing that one then. Callum, who do you think will win, Coventry or Sunderland? I think it's going to be a score draw, and I think Sunderland go through on the night. Go through in the tie. But it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a really, really tough game. Callum, Arne Slot needs manager of the year. Valladolid are in here. Chance. Oh, just wide. Just wide from Morrow. Broke down the left-hand side, opened his body up, and a great pass that got him in. Wonderful pass, actually. Really little incisive ball. Who was that? That was like Mesut Ozil-esque. Prime Mesut Ozil with that pass, if anyone's watching this game. Wonderful. And Latassa's kicking off, saying that Morrow should have passed it to him in the centre. Jim, aren't they going after that Mass or something? Mass? Who's Mass? I don't know who Mass is. Callum, one player I would have at Spurs is McAllister, but I know that's a dream. Spurs, I mean, it seems Ange Postecoglou seems to be a fan of... He likes his physicality in midfield. And not that McAllister is not physical, but he likes... he's got Basuma, he's got Sarr, he's got Bentancur in there. And Bergvall, I know Bergvall's maybe a little bit more dainty than those, but Bergvall is a very, very good player. I would love Bergvall at Liverpool. You've got a real player there. In fact, you've got two. Archie Gray and Bergvall, I would love at Liverpool. They're two players I'd happily take at Liverpool. Scott, thanks, pal. I'm a Stockport County and City fan. Nice. Yeah, well, we'll be live. We'll be live for Stockport County tomorrow night against Leyton Orient. Sigger WFYM, thoughts on Gibbs White to City? Gibbs White to City. I'm not sure. I love Morgan Gibbs White. I think he's a fabulous player, but I'm not sure that he's the player that City need. I'm not sure he's the player that City need. I really don't. Yeah. I really don't think he's that player, and he would probably cost 100 million as well. He'd be another Jack Grealish, wouldn't he? They'd have to go out and pay 100 million for Gibbs White, and as good as he is, I just don't think he's the type of player that Pep Guardiola gets the best out of personally. Dream Chasers boss Mikel Merino ×2 again. Yeah, exactly. That's it. Zubimendi is. I mean, he played very, very well with Mikel Merino at Sociedad. He's, Arteta likes his Sociedad players, doesn't he? He's from that San Sebastian region, so he does have a fondness for them. Shot from distance, good save. Very, very good save there from Valladolid's keeper. Liverpool 3-5, 3-6, Frimpong to Liverpool. Yeah, we've just been talking about that, mate. Looks like it's close, doesn't it? Looks like it's close. Some KDB replacements. See, I don't think Gibbs White is a KDB replacement. If anything, I think Gibbs White is more of a Bernardo Silva replacement. He's closer to that. So if they're going to play Gibbs White in a midfield three, I think it's all wrong. If they play Gibbs White wide right, which is where Forest have been playing him, and allowing him to drift in, that makes a little bit more sense. But yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens with that one. Unknown FRX, I see them getting Gyökeres, unfortunately. I'm not mad keen on Gyökeres. I think Gyökeres is going to be one of them who goes to a Premier League side. He'll do well, but I don't think he'll be a game changer. Again, yeah, he's a good player, a very good player for Sporting. But I don't think he comes in and he's Haaland levels, let's say that. I think he comes in, he'll probably be in the top 5, top scorers in the league. He'll be a reasonably reliable centre-forward without being top 1% sort of thing. Reese, current Arsenal player and ex-Spurs player in goal for both teams in this game. Who's the current Arsenal player? Who's the current Arsenal player? The current Arsenal player. I'm trying to look now and see you're on about. Oh, Karl Hein, the Estonian. I didn't know that. Oh, why? There you go. Well, he's just made a good save, mate. He's just made a very good save. Luke, what are the kits behind the chair? Nantes. I've got Nantes and I've got... who's the other one? I can't remember. Roma and Nantes I've got. Dream Chasers, boss. I'm playing a career path football game on my laptop. Nice. To be honest, mate, Luke, I've got absolutely loads. It's not just these. At the end of the season, I'm going to be changing them all again. Bate Assassins, your prediction in this La Liga match. I think it's going to be 2-1 Girona. Whoa, great shot there. Great shot from Valladolid and tipped over the bar by Gazzaniga. Very nearly 1-0 there. We've got a Timu Antonio Conte as well, patrolling the touchline. If you've never seen the manager of Valladolid, he won't be in La Liga next season, Rubio Alvaro, he basically looks like Antonio Conte. He's basically Antonio Conte, but a Timu version. A younger Timu Antonio Conte. Corner to Valladolid, and Gazzaniga comes out and claims it. Callum, have you ever watched Northampton Town? I've played on the pitch and won a cup final when I was younger. Yeah, I think we have done Northampton Town. Although, have we done Northampton Town on this channel? I don't think we have done them this season anyway. We're very, very new on this channel. I have watched Northampton Town, of course, but yeah, I don't think we've done them on this channel just yet. Bate Assassins, what do you think about Rodrigo coming to City? How will he be placed along with Doku and Savinho? I think Doku leaves City. I think Doku and Grealish will leave. It wouldn't surprise me if Savinho left as well, to be honest, because none of those three are right for City. They're not players that are gonna, expose teams and hurt them, and they're not gonna help City get back to the level that they need to. They're not Mahrez. They're not Sterling. They're not top wide players. They're not Leroy Sané. They're not that level. So Doku, final ball, dreadful. Savinho, his final ball's a touch better, but he's far too inconsistent. Bernardo Silva's still, for me, City's best wide player. So yeah, Rodrigo coming in, I could see that. I could certainly see that. Scott Rice, Man City are playing shit at the minute. Yeah, I'd agree with that. They're playing a bit better since sort of the start of the year, since they went out and signed Marmoush and Nico, and they changed things around a little bit. And look, they still might finish second. You never know. They could still finish second. You never know what happens there. Reese, I do rate Karl Hein. I think he's better than our current number 2, to be honest. Is that Neto? Well, Neto's only on loan, isn't he? I'm sure he's only on loan. Reese, I think Rodrigo would do better at Arsenal than City. What? Where are you playing Rodrigo? You've got Saka right. You've got Martinelli left. You're on about keeping Trossard. He's about to sign a new contract. And you've got Wanyeri. You've got Saka, Wanyeri, Martinelli, Trossard. Where are you fitting Rodrigo in? Can't get Rodrigo into Arsenal. No way. Unless you're selling Saka or Martinelli. No chance. Absolutely no chance does Rodrigo go there. Rodrigo is only leaving Real Madrid for somewhere where he's automatic number 1. Number one starting player. He ain't going to Arsenal. No chance. Luke, I think Doku was a big impact off the bench for them this season, not title-winning impact. Yeah, again, off the bench, but he's been a bit of an Adama Traore, hasn't he? He's been kind of an Adama Traore, sort of, let's throw him in off the bench to see how he does in the final 10, 15 minutes of games. He did it at Anfield, didn't he? I'm sure he came on at Anfield when they were losing and had a bit of an impact in the second half. But that seems to be when they get the best out of Doku. When they start him, it doesn't really seem to have much of an impact. And as fast as he is and as good as he is in his 1v1s, his final ball is dreadful. His 1v1s and his pace is Champions League level. His final ball is like National League level. Reese, get rid of Martinelli. Kyliakos, I want Cunha. For who? Are you a Man United fan, Kyliakos, or who do you support? I really like Cunha. I really, really like Matheus Cunha, so I kind of hope he doesn't go to Man United. I'd be very surprised if he went to Man United without them being in the Champions League next season. I think if they don't win the Europa League, he probably goes somewhere else. But he's a very, very talented player. Jack, Martinelli is garbage. Reece, Crenshaw, Rodrigo is an upgrade from Martinelli, so you'd hope Arteta would drop him. Yeah, doubt it. Cunha to Arsenal would make sense. Yeah, Cunha to Arsenal would make sense. There you go, 1-0 Girona. Is it onside? Is it onside? The referee's just looking at it. I'm not sure. It's gonna be checked. The ball's played in. It's Martinez down the right-hand side. He cuts in on his left. Oh, he's off. He's offside. It would have been a great finish, though. Fabulous little finish. It was Martinez down the right-hand side, and I think is it Abel Ruiz? Yeah, it's going to be offside. It's been pulled back. I thought that was a goal, but it was Porto who got into the box. It is offside. The referees give the offside decision. But Martinez was coming down the right-hand side. Porto had his back to goal. Ball got played into his feet. He spun round, and then he slipped a lovely little reverse ball through. And he just dinked it over the keeper. It was a really, really good finish, really, really tidy. But the referees ruled it out for offside. Dream Chasers boss. Yeah, I was going to say, sorry, Cunha. Cunha for Arsenal would make sense, wouldn't it? If you was to sell either Havertz or Jesus. You'd have to sell one of them. If you were to sell one of them and get Cunha in, that would make sense. But again, if I'm a centre forward and I'm being linked with a move to Arsenal, and Arsenal only play with one centre forward, how likely would you be to go there if they had two other centre forwards there who were on big money, had arrived for big cash? For me, I just don't think for 1 second I'd be interested in going unless you sell at least one of them. Like, I don't mind competing with one striker. I'm not coming in competing with two. Like, I know, strikers and players will always back themselves, but you're not going to have three centre forwards competing for one position. Will Sunderland bring their advertising boards closer? Help them. Just seen on Sky Sports. Reece, great finish to be fair. Jesus is more likely to be sold. Who's going to buy Jesus? That's the thing as well, though, isn't it? Who's going to buy Jesus? Who's going to buy Havertz? Havertz and Jesus are... How much are they worth in the current market? If you was to sell one of them. I don't think you get much more than 20, 25 million for Jesus. And he's just off the back of a 3-4 month injury. I'm not sure you get much money for Jesus. Jesus is... same with Havertz though, really, isn't it? Havertz, big injury. Jesus, big injury. If you're a team looking at buying one of them, you're going to question the fee, aren't you? Because you're going to look at it and go, has he fully recovered? We don't know. We've not seen him, back on the pitch and in form and, back to his best. It might have really damaged him. The big injuries that they've had. Bate, if City changes half of the main squad team, will it be hard to adjust for them in the next season? Where do you think they will finish next season looking over the changes? It's a good question, mate. Where do I think City finish? I think you're right. You're right in terms of there's probably going to need to be a lot of changes. I think I think we will see them sign at least 2 wingers. And maybe one of those is Gibbs White. But I think they'll move a couple of players on. They're obviously bidding for Wirtz. Florian Wirtz is an option that they're looking at. And Bayern Munich are having a look at him as well. Apparently his preference is Bayern. But there's a deal been agreed with both City and Bayern. But Bayern are offering him more money, and it's just whether or not the deal gets done between those two. So, yeah, they're chasing Florian Wirtz. I'm sure they'll be looking for a centre-forward. A central midfielder as well to cover for maybe Gundogan leaving. And it wouldn't surprise me if they go and get a centre-back as well. Obviously, John Stones is kind of broken these days. Akanji and Ake haven't been all that reliable. Do they go and get a right-back as well? You know, Kyle Walker's left, he's on his way out, and they've been playing the what's his name, I've lost me mind. Well, Nunes, they've been playing Nunes at right back. So do they go and get another right back, or do they stick with him and Rico Lewis there? Obviously Pep Guardiola has basically said, I don't think Nunes is a central midfielder, hasn't he? That was a big statement, wasn't it, to come out and say that I don't think he's a central midfielder. And you signed him as a central midfielder. It's an odd decision, isn't it? Scott Grice, defo finished second. I hope we win the treble again next season. It's my birthday soon. I'm 25 on the 30th of May. Nice. Congratulations. Well, you know, I don't know why I'm saying congratulations. I'll say happy birthday for them then, mate. Jim, where do you think Delap will go? United. Yeah, I think United. Delap will probably go to United. That's my shout. Marwan, how you doing? Good to see you. Kyriakos Delap, maybe. Is he good enough to move the needle for Arsenal? Do you think? Like, you know, good young player, of course. But if you're trying to go from second to first, if you're trying to bridge that gap, you need a top 1% sort of a striker. Is that Liam Delap? Is that a player who moves the needle for Arsenal? I just don't think it is. Good player, of course, no doubt about that. Good player. But Kai Havertz is a good player, isn't he? Kai Havertz hasn't got a terrible scoring record. If you need someone to be an upgrade on Kai Havertz, you're going to have to do well. Kai Havertz is still a very good striker. Not clinical, not world class, but a good striker. I don't think you sign Liam Delap and become world class and he doesn't win you the title next season. Jim, unfortunately, I think he'll go to Chelsea. Yeah, I mean, look, that red card for Jackson Martinez against... not Jackson Martinez. Nicholas Jackson. Don't know why I was thinking Jackson Martinez. I think it's because you asked me about Samu before from Porto, and I was thinking Jackson Martinez because he plays in a very similar way. Nicholas Jackson, I think, could be on his way out to Chelsea. Yeah, that seemed like the last act of a desperate man. That red card against Newcastle the other day. You don't really see that from players who are settled and looking, you know, they've got the approval of the manager. That seemed to me a striker who was desperate and trying to win approval. Reece, Goodison Park is the new home of Everton women, so it's not getting knocked down. Yeah, that's good news, that, isn't it? Manawan, what about Rashford to Barcelona, maybe? Rashford to Barcelona? No, I think Rashford goes back to United. I think that's the only logical step for Marcus Rashford, if I'm dead honest with you. He will go back to United. He's on 350 a week or 300k a week? He's on too much money. And no club is going to take him on them wages. He's just so much. And you know, United wanted 40 million quid from Aston Villa for him. And I think if Aston Villa get in the Champions League, they might consider that. They might consider a move for Marcus Rashford. But 40 million quid? And those sorts of wages as well, does that make any sense to anyone? Doesn't to me. I think that deal is just far too complex, because I think if you're Aston Villa, you might look at Marcus Rashford and say, right, we'll pay you £150,000 a week. That's £200,000 a week he's going to have to drop. So he's going to have to say to Man United, well, if I'm leaving, I'm going to go to Villa or I'm going to go to wherever you're sending me, whoever you've accepted an offer from. You're asking me to drop £200,000 a week to go there. So I need a payment. I need a payment from you in order to accept that move. So it might mean United agree to continue paying him £100,000 or £200,000 a week or whatever it is to the end of his Manchester United contract. And, Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos are cutting the catering budget at Man United, aren't they? They're cutting the catering budget. So if they're not gonna pay Marcus Rashford £200,000 a week to play for another club. So yeah, to me, it just looks like that deal is going to be far too complex, and I fully expect he will go back to United, and Amorim will try to get a tune out of him because he'll have no other option. Kyliakos, I'd love. Osimhen, yeah, I think Osimhen at Liverpool, I think would be great. Osimhen for Arsenal, I think would be a really good one as well. He's been great at Galatasaray this season. He's probably going to win the league there, and I'm certain he will move on. I can't see him staying at Gala. Ethan, why on earth would Barca want him? Liam Creighton, do you still think Isak won't get team of the season? Yes, I do still think Isak won't get team of the season. Marwan, why beat yourself, Dylan? Rashford won't go back to United. Where do you think he'll go then? Where do you think Rashford ends up? Let me know where you think Rashford ends up. That'll be the bigger question. Give me some suggestions. Where do you think Marcus Rashford ends up this summer? Razor786, watch the Sunderland versus Coventry game. It will be interesting. Yeah, we are doing that one, Razor. As soon as this game finishes, Valladolid against Girona. It's currently 0-0. Girona have already had a goal disallowed, but Valladolid have forced a couple of decent saves from Gazzaniga at the other end of the pitch. So it's been a decent opening half hour. Not fantastic, but you would expect that from maybe two teams at the bottom end of the league. Charlie McCabe, score predictions for the current game. I think 2-1. 2-1 Girona. And I said before the game, and I'll stick with it, that Girona, their last 5 games, or 4 out of their last 5 games, have been both teams to score. For Valladolid, their last 8 games have been both teams to score. So this screams both teams to score. It's 0-0 currently. So I would be I'd be surprised if it finishes that way. If we don't see both teams scoring, the stats all point that way. So we'll see. Richard Lyon Murphy, worth every penny. Vaping golfer, UTV, Rashford's wages are silly. I'd rather have other players. Yeah, exactly. That's my thoughts as well. I think Villa can spend 40 million much, much better to somewhere else with someone else. Daniel, are you watching the playoffs tonight? Yes, Daniel, we are. We're going to be watching them as soon as this game finishes. Valladolid and Girona. As soon as that game finishes, we're going to be switching over to Sunderland and Coventry. So yeah, stick with us. Pedri Lover, you watching Las Palmas tonight? Gran Partido. No Las Palmas tonight. Although that one's going to be interesting too, isn't it? Las Palmas against, is it Sevilla? Sevilla, Las Palmas tonight. What do we think of Sevilla as well? Sevilla being locked in the training room due to violent protests from their own fans. The players had to stay overnight in the training ground. They couldn't leave the training ground because the club were fearing for their safety due to the performances of the club recently. Sevilla have had a very, very tough season. They're currently 6 points ahead of the relegation places. But it's a difficult run for them. Obviously, they've got Las Palmas tonight, who are in the relegation zone. It's a proper 6-pointer, that one. Proper 6-pointer. Daniel, do you think only people from Liverpool can have an opinion on the football club? No, not at all. Listen, I'm not from Liverpool. I was born, like I said, 15 minutes from the stadium. I've lived most of my life 25 minutes from the stadium. I'm born on the doorstep of Anfield as far as I'm concerned. I've not got an L postcode and I've not got a purple wheelie bin, but I've watched Liverpool all my life and I've travelled all over the world watching him. I've spent thousands of pounds. If I don't qualify for an opinion on Liverpool Football Club, I don't know many that do. Maybe you've got to be born within 5 yards of the stadium. I don't know. So no, I don't think that, and I would say that's the case with every other club as well. It's not just Liverpool. If you've put your time and effort into a club and you enjoy watching them, you're entitled to your opinion as far as I'm concerned. Reese, Rashford goes to Sutton United. Jake Curtin, Frimpong is the worst defensive stats in the Bundesliga, very similar to Trent. Tino now linked. Tino's not going to Liverpool. Marwan Zubamendi to the Gunners, what do you think about that? I don't think it moves the needle. He's very similar to Marino. He's a very good player at winning the ball back. He's an intelligent player, but physically, not brilliant. And I think Arsenal will lose something if they end up getting rid of Thomas Partey and putting Zubamendi in there. That to me doesn't suggest. Put it this way: if Arsenal go and signing Zubamendi, doesn't make me fearful of Arsenal next season as our main competitor for the league title up to this point. Anyway, maybe City become that, but I don't fear Arsenal next season if their main signing is Zubamendi. So we'll see. Charlie McCabe, Frimpong to Liverpool will be dangerous for the league. Yeah, it'd be a really good signing, that, I think. Be yourself, Dylan. Alonso wants Rashford when he becomes Madrid manager. Can't see it. Really can't see that. I'd be very surprised. Kiliakos, what do you think happened with Wanyuri? I think he had a fallout with Arteta. Too much ego. I'm very surprised. I'm very, very, very surprised that Wanyuri didn't get on the pitch against PSG. I thought that was a big, big letdown. I thought Arteta got that wrong. And I think with Arsenal needing 2 goals in the last 20, 25 minutes, whatever it was, to not put Ethan Wanyuri on and to make changes like Ben White, if I'm Ethan Wanyuri sat on that bench, I am outraged. I'm probably saying to my agent after the game, listen, as much as I love this club, if this guy's manager next season, I don't want to be here. Get me a loan, get me a permanent move, get me something. I ain't staying here with him. He's one of the best young defenders, one of the best young teenagers we've seen come out of the Arsenal Academy, in the Premier League, full stop. Only Wayne Rooney and Michael Owen have scored more Premier League goals under the age of 18 than Ethan Wanyuri. So that is some big, big company for him to be in. So as far as I'm concerned, Ethan Wanyuri deserved better in that game. So I don't know what's happened, mate. I am interested to see what you think. Daniel, it's hard to find a maverick at 40 million like Rashford. You think Rashford's a maverick? Is that how we would describe him? I could describe him as a lot of things, but I don't think maverick would be the one. Yeah, I don't think maverick would be the word I would use. Prima donna, maybe. I don't know. We talk too much about Marcus Rashford. I agree with that statement. I think he's not good enough to warrant the amount of discussion over him. Pedri Lover, what channel are you watching the game on? It's on La Liga TV. If you subscribe to La Liga TV, you can watch it right now. Anfield Dad, anyone can have an opinion. That's true. Yeah, absolutely. That's that. I guess that was my point. I was trying to say that exactly. It was more the case that I was asked the question, who do you think you can only have an opinion if you're born close to the club or whatever? So no, I disagree with that statement, and I absolutely agree with what you're saying there. Jerry H06, my mate Ronnie wants to know if Sunderland have a rich history. Yeah, I'd say so. They've won league titles before. I mean, it's pre-war, a lot of it, but they were a good side, Sunderland. They had a very, very good Premier League side once upon a time. Oh, that's a great save. Very good save there from Sigankov. Girona very nearly 1-0. And Hine, the on-loan Arsenal keeper, with a very, very good save. It was a low-down shot to his left. Sigankov just opened his body up, drilled it low and hard across to the far corner. Good save. Very good save. Daniel, how small is Liverpool that you live 20 minutes away from the stadium but aren't in Liverpool? Yeah, Liverpool's... I mean, it's not massive. 20 minutes isn't that far. Or 20 minutes is far enough anyway that you're outside the city limits. The way that... Again, I don't know if you're from England, but you're not. I'm not an L postcode. Put it that way. I'm not an L postcode. So 20 minutes away from Anfield is definitely outside of the L postcode bracket, which you would have to be even in with a chance of calling yourself a Scouser. Reese, Madrid want Hysson, Saliba or Canate. Apparently, I can see him getting Canate. Yeah, I think Liverpool might sell Canate this summer. Daniel, is Anfield way out of the centre of the city? Yeah, I wouldn't like to walk it. It's a good way. It's a good bus or a taxi or something. You've got to drive from the centre of Liverpool to get to Anfield. Ethan, who do you think City sign? I'll be over the moon with Reinders, Gibbs White and Rodrigo. Those would be 3 exceptional signings. Yeah, Reinders is one that seems to chime, doesn't it? Reinders to replace Rodri, maybe. There's rumours about Rodri obviously going back to Spain as well. So, yeah, that'll be one to watch. Ethan, need a keeper and a right back too. Don't see us getting worked. No, I think Bayern get worked, don't they? I think Bayern get worked. I'm not sure about a keeper. Yeah, keeper, do you think Ederson leaves this summer? Ederson could leave. That might make sense, I guess. And a right back, obviously you've had Núñez there, you've got Lewis there. So, who do you go and get as a right back? Yeah, I mean, there's not many that, I don't know, that seem to... Was that Arthur Melo? It was as well, wasn't it, Carl? I've just saying, yeah, Arthur Melo's just flattened a Valladolid player. Daniel Zubamendi is a Jorginho replacement. So you think he's going to sign and not start? You think Arsenal are going to pay £60 million for a player who doesn't start? He's not a replacement for Jorginho. Come on, mate. Come on. Jorginho's backup. He's a squad player. Zubamendi is not going to come in as a squad player. He's 60 million quid. Arsenal don't pay 60 million quid for a player who doesn't play. He's going to start. He's going to be in that midfield 3. So Arteta obviously sees Rice and Zubamendi as a crucial part of his midfield 3. And Odegaard is his captain. So his midfield 3 is bound to be Rice, Zubamendi, Odegaard. And that doesn't worry me. As a Liverpool fan, that doesn't worry me. That doesn't concern me one jot. Daniel, whoever signs the biggest star out of Liverpool, Arsenal, City will win the league. Stars don't win leagues. Stars don't win leagues. Liverpool didn't sign a star this summer, did we? Didn't sign a star this summer and we breezed the league. Absolutely breezed it. Daniel, all things the same, Liverpool will win the league. Jake Curtin, if Arsenal get a good striker, maybe Gyökeres as well as a Zubamendi, then they will be a problem. I think they'll be a problem for themselves more than anyone else. I don't see Arsenal hurting Liverpool with Gyökeres and Zubamendi, personally. I think they need more than that. I really do, especially if they're losing Partey. I think look, Reece, you can maybe, tell me if I'm wrong or if I'm overstepping the mark here, but I think Thomas Partey's been a really big part of what Arsenal have done this season. And physically, you know, the energy, the legs. I mean, people talk, didn't they, about Thomas Partey being the game-changing, replacement in midfield when Declan Rice gets the opportunity to go forward. He can go forward because Partey's there, because Partey's the legs, the energy, the physicality behind him. So you don't replace that with Zubamendi. Have you seen Zubamendi? Zubamendi's, he's a smart player. He's a technical player. He's also quite good at winning the ball back. I'm not going to deny that, but certainly not a physical player. He's not someone that is going to chase you around the pitch and win the ball back in, say, the same way that Thomas Partey was. He's 50-50 battles physically with a lot of those Premier League midfield. Put it this way: if you put Zubamendi up against a Gravenberch, a Rodri, a Szoboszlai, Christ, there's a lot of other midfielders you could look at, but big, tall, physical lads, he's not winning that. He's not winning that. Zubamendi will win it off a lot of players, and his ball retention stats will be exceptional. He's a lot closer to an Alexis McAllister than a Thomas Partey. But a very good player. Absolutely a very good player, by the way. I'm not denying that he's not a good player. I'm not denying that for 1 second. I just don't think he's a Thomas Partey replacement. I think it means that Arsenal are going to shift their entire midfield. SAFC for life. Can you do Sunderland v Cov, mate? Yeah, we are, mate. That is exactly what we're doing. As soon as this game finishes, Valladolid. I keep saying Villarreal because it says VLL on the screen. Valladolid against Girona. Once this finishes, we are going to go over to Sunderland Coventry. Yes, so we'll be live for that. Stick with us, mate. Give us a like and a subscribe and all that good stuff. Daniel, if Arteta fails at Arsenal, it'll be due to his player loyalty. I think it'll be due to his rigid tactics, if anything, and his inflexible in-game management. It seems to me he doesn't make the right changes in-game. Very rare that he gets the substitutions right, Mikel Arteta. Jake, can the Toon challenge next year? No. You'll be lucky if you get Champions League football this year. The way Newcastle have ended the season, you'll be fortunate to get Champions League football. I think you lose against Arsenal this weekend. I'll say that. If you go to Arsenal and you beat them at the Emirates, I'll concede that I've maybe got Newcastle pegged wrong, but I don't think I have. I think Newcastle are being vastly overrated by their own fans at this moment in time, largely because of the season that they've had, which is maybe the best season they've ever had in 50, 60, 70 years. Generations of Newcastle fans, sons, dads, granddads have never seen a Newcastle side as good as this one right now. So it's unsurprising that they're, using all sorts of superlatives and running out of superlatives to talk about how great a side they are. And they are a very good side. I'm not disputing that. They've got some very, very good players. I love the midfield. I love Eddie Howe. I really like Isak. And I'm a fan of Anthony Gordon as well. I just don't think that they are Premier League title ready. Let's put it that way. They aren't a challenger. They are a team that, put it this way, if Newcastle get 5th next season again, if they finish 5th this year and they finish 5th next year, that will be progress. And I'll be impressed with that. That will be progress for Newcastle. They're not going to be some flash in the pan, Champions League one year, no European football the year after. They need to start regularly qualifying for Europe again. So to start talking about title challenges, far, far too premature. You don't go from not being in Europe this season to winning a title this year. It just doesn't happen. We're not in the Leicester territory with Newcastle. Marwan, there's rumours that Jonathan Tah is going to Bayern, did you say? Sorry. Bayern or FC Barcelona, what about that? Yeah, I think he could even go to Madrid, couldn't he? Jonathan Tah to Madrid is probably one to watch. Alonso really likes him. He's a German international defender, played alongside Rudiger. Makes sense, doesn't it? And he can slot straight in, he'll be perfect there. Knows the system. Daniel, rank the top 6 biggest team. Feel free to set your own criteria. Look at the league table. That'd probably be it. I wouldn't go any bigger than that. LZ, I reckon Chelsea challenge for the title next season. Yeah, Chelsea's a dark horse. Again, they need a centre forward, they need a goalkeeper, they need a centre back, and I think they probably need a new manager. So there's a lot, isn't there? There's a lot of change with Chelsea, but the midfield is on paper at least probably one of the best in the league, if not the best. Daniel, Rodrigo wouldn't move back to Spain because he wouldn't be allowed to live in student accommodation. Ethan, yeah, I think Edison to Saudi, linked to Wesley and Tino for right back. Tino would be interesting to City. Yeah, I could see that happening. Dennis the Poet, Palace to be top 6 next year. I love Palace. Love Palace. Love Oliver Glasner. But again, I think what we'll probably see with Palace this year or this summer is whether they win the FA Cup or not. I imagine they'll get dismantled. I think Gay goes. I think Eze goes. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Wharton go as well. And if those 3 go, I think next season Palace will be lucky to just, again, be floating around mid-table. They're a wonderful side, but they've got to get the replacements for those right. And that's going to be key for Palace. They're a great side. I really like them, really like Oliver Glasner. But I think at least 2 of those go. Eze and Gay, almost certainly. And I'm a big fan of Maxence Lacroix as well. He's been exceptional. Reece, you saw as soon as Thomas Partey came back for the PSG game, we played a lot better. That's true, yeah. Kiliakos, I wish we got Caicedo instead of Chelsea. Perfect replacement. Yeah, he would have been fantastic, wouldn't he? Daniel, Havertz cost 65 million. He's by far the highest paid player. He'll be on the bench next season. Yeah, but then you're going to have to sell Gabby Jesus, aren't you? You're going to have to go after Gabby Jesus. Daniel, those qualities you've used to describe Zubimendi are exactly all of the qualities Jorginho has. But Jorginho is not. He's not a starter, is he? It's half-time here. It's 0-0. Half-time here at Valladolid. We've had a couple of really good chances. We've had a disallowed goal, but no goals as yet. Given in a game that I said was definitely going to be BTTS, we've had no goals as yet. Jay Laville, I think Arteta goes soon. 6 years next season and won an FA Cup. Yeah, it's not great, is it? It isn't great. Right, sorry, Jim. Rashford to Atleti in La Liga. Rashford to Atleti. How do you feel about that, Callum? La Liga is actually so unrobotic compared to the Prem. I really like watching La Liga. Again, we've done 3 or 4 games towards the end of the season, watching I mean, we're doing Villarreal against Leganés. We're doing Betis again later this week. I think we're doing Atleti and Osasuna as well, aren't we? So there's a few La Liga games coming up on this channel. Callum Zubamendi got humbled by an aging Koke. SAFC, good season I thought City was going to win it again. A big surprise for me, and so was Forest. Yes, Forest have done really well. And disappointed about the owner as well, isn't it? What do you think about the owner of Forest and the way he behaved the other day? How do you feel about that as a football fan? James Lovell, you think Liverpool go for Kirkes from Bournemouth? Well, allegedly we have. But I don't think that's the right signing if we're getting Frimpong. I'm not going to go over all ground again. We've talked about this a lot on this channel already, mate. But for me, I think if we've got Frimpong on the right, Kirkes on the left, they're too small for me. I think I would rather have a little bit of a physical fullback. Someone who's a bit more imposing, whether it be a Jorrel Hato or, I don't know, someone on that left-hand side who's a touch bigger, who we can rely on to still get up and down the flank, but who could also maybe slot into centre back as well. And there's a lot of players who could tick that box. Daniel, Arsenal are awful at the moment. Easy win for Newcastle. Saliba goes at the end of the season. Wow. Daniel, have you watched much Bundesliga this season? Yeah, we're doing Bundesliga on Saturday as well. We're doing the end of the season game. Freiburg against Eintracht Frankfurt. Last game of the season. 4th against 3rd. Frankfurt could secure Champions League football. So we'll be watching that on Saturday as well. If you fancy coming watching that with us, we'll be live at... basically Saturday is going to be a very busy day because we're starting the day off with Notts County and AFC Wimbledon. And then once that goes off, we're going straight to Freiburg and Eintracht Frankfurt. There's a 5-minute in-between gap. And then as soon as that finishes, there's 5-10 minutes. And then the FA Cup final starts. Palace against Man City. So we're going to be pretty much live, solid, for 3 games back-to-back. It's going to be massive. So, yeah, if you fancy watching a bit of footy with me on Saturday, give us a like. Get over to YouTube. Go and subscribe. Jake, we only missed out on Europe by 1 game last year whilst playing Europe. Still, that wouldn't be progress, would it? You've got to try and get it back-to-back. Jay Lovell, thoughts on Delap and Cunha looking likely going to both Man United? Cunha and Delap aren't going to Man United. There's no way that Cunha and Delap go to Man United. Maybe one. Delap going to United makes sense. Especially if they don't win the Europa League. Delap going to United does make sense. But again, if you're Delap, you're looking at it and going, they only play with 1 centre forward. You've got Xerxes and Højlund. What are you doing? United, I don't think, sign a centre forward this summer. I don't think United sign a centre forward this summer. I really don't. Because there's rumours linking them to Delap and Cunha. But in order to sign at least one of them, they're going to have to go out and sell Højlund or Xerxes. And make a massive loss, by the way. And I don't think the board are willing to do that. That's going to take a real bold approach from the board. And if anything, if they win the Europa League, the chances are Ineos go to Amorim and say, listen, you've just won the Europa League. This squad can't be that bad. You're getting a tune out of him. Højlund's staying. Because if we sell him, we're going to lose 40 or 50 million quid. So there's no way we're going to just write that off. We're not just going to set fire to 50 million quid. No, you've got to stay. You've got to get something out of Højlund next season. He's staying. They're not going to accept, and even that, who's paying 30 million quid for Rasmus Højlund? It's just not going to happen. He'll end up going out on loan somewhere, and then he'll be back at United the same way as Rashford is. No one wants him. They've signed him on big contracts, big expensive deals, and they now can't justify. They've just got to wait it out and try and get the best out of him that they can. Daniel, is Liverpool's lack of pull a problem? You think Liverpool have a lack of pull? A lack of pull? I'm not sure Liverpool have a lack of pull. I don't know why anyone would assert that. Daniel, who's paying 60 million for each of Palace's stars? Last season was the season for them to move on. I think Eze to Manchester City makes sense. And I think Gay isn't going to be 60 million quid. He's only got 1 year left on his contract. So Gay to Newcastle or Gay to Liverpool makes sense. Again, he'll only be 40 million or so. So Wharton would be expensive. Yeah, Wharton would be expensive. He might be maybe a 70, 80 million quidder. But Eze's only 60 million. He's got a buyout clause. Gay is probably about 35, 40 with 1 year left on his deal. So, yeah, Gay I think would move on, and I think Eze almost certainly moves on. So those two definitely go. Daniel, Havertz and Jesus can't be sold in the summer due to injuries. Agreed. Totally agreed. Ethan, Tino, Diaz, Gvardiol, Cambiasso, Rodri, Reinders, Morgan Gibbs White, Rodrigo, Marmoush, Haaland. Thoughts? Would be very good. Yeah. Lou, anyone going to get booked here, lad? No. I'll be honest. Lou, if I had someone else's money to put on this game, and you said, right, £1,000, what are you backing on this game? I would have said both teams to score, because all of the stats, all of the odds said there was going to be goals in this game. It's 0-0 at half time. We've had a goal disallowed, but other than that, it's been pretty naff. Ethan, prop career mode, but with all our outgoings, it could be possible. Okay. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Shay, who do you think gets top 5 in the Prem? I think it goes down to the wire. I think Arsenal beat Newcastle this weekend. I think Chelsea beat United on Friday night, which we're live for as well. We're live for both of them games. And I think Villa beat Spurs. Again, we're live for that. So I'm going to say that all three of those win, and they're all on 66 points going into the final game of the season. That's my thoughts. That's my prediction. And then the final games of the season, look, Villa have got Man United, Chelsea have got Forest, and Newcastle have got Everton at St James's Park, which isn't easy. Everton had a great game at Craven Cottage the other day, and they don't like Newcastle, do they? They have a bit of a sort of a mini rivalry with Newcastle. They always seem to have a bit of a back and forth with them. So yeah, I think the Toffees would love to put a spanner in the works up at St James's Park, and if they only got a point out of that, you know, Chelsea and Villa could step in, couldn't they? I don't think Forest get it. I think Forest miss out. I'll say that. The only thing I'm certain of is that Forest miss out. The rest of it could be Villa, could be Chelsea, could be Newcastle. Any three of them. I think City are fine. And I think Arsenal are obviously fine as well. So I'm not worried about the top three. City, Liverpool, Arsenal will still be the top three. Daniel, is this year the most you've ever watched football besides tournament football? Maybe, yeah, maybe. I mean, look, since I've started the channel, obviously we've watched a touch more football, but I watch footy every day anyway. I've always watched footy pretty much every day. If there's footy on, I'll watch it. That's kind of been the frustration of my better half, my wife. She's always saying, why are you watching? Why are you sat here watching Girona against friggin' Valladolid? You're watching Liverpool? You're a Liverpool fan? Watch Liverpool? I'm like, well, yeah, but there's football on. I like watching football. So this probably, since I've started the channel and I've had to have sort of a schedule, yes, because, you know, you're planning 2 weeks in advance the games that you're going to do. So, yeah, probably since I started the channel, I'm watching a few more. We do at least one watch-along every single day on this channel. Every single day. But we do 4 back-to-back on a weekend, 4 on a Saturday, 4 on a Sunday. And then we're doing 2 tonight. We did 2 last night. We're doing 2 tomorrow. So yeah, if you like watch-alongs, if that's your thing, if you enjoy watching European football, give us a follow, give us a like. Get over to YouTube as well, because on YouTube we've got a bit more of a professional setup. Camera, you know, mic, audio equipment. Got a scoreboard and a clock. When there's a goal, there's a nice like flash graphic and stuff. It looks quite cool. Go and check it out. Daniel, any good player moving to Man United doesn't make sense for the player. KAMC, Hayden Hackney would be unreal signing for Man U at a good price, around 20 mil as well. Hayden Hackney. Again, I don't know. He's been all right for Borough, but Borough's end of the season was so poor, wasn't it? HSH, who do you think gets 5th? Chelsea must win at Forest, and it's likely with their form at the moment. Yeah, I can't really commit. I still think Chelsea will just sneak in. If you're asking me right now, who do I think, fingers in the drawer, who will miss out? I think Forest and Newcastle. I think Newcastle lose against Arsenal. I think they draw against Everton. I don't know. It's so tough. It's so tough. I can't look past the last game of the season. So tough. I think Chelsea beat United. I'm certain of that. I'm certain Chelsea beat United. I'm certain Villa beat Spurs. and I'm certain-ish, as certain as I can be, that Arsenal will beat Newcastle. So, given those three fixtures, it really just goes down to the last game of the season. So you can spin a coin, you can flip a coin and see what happens. Daniel, tell me the last time Liverpool bought a superstar. Bellingham rejected, Zubimendi rejected. Would you say Zubimendi's a superstar, Daniel? Would you say Zubimendi is a superstar? Again, I'm not sure that's the case. I mean, we've signed Alexis McAllister. He's a World Cup winner, one of the best midfielders in the world currently. I'd say he's a superstar. I think Virgil van Dijk, superstar. I think Alisson Becker, superstar. They were the best, or amongst the best in the world when we signed them. So, yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with Liverpool's pull. And do you know what? Pull really isn't. It's overrated, isn't it? Manchester United had fantastic pull. Maybe still have fantastic pull. I don't think they have maybe as big a pull as they used to, but they have had a pull, haven't they? And look at the signings they got with it. Alexis Sanchez, Paul Pogba, Jadon Sancho. Pull isn't everything. Pull isn't everything. You can go and sign players who are great on FIFA, Daniel. They don't always translate to fantastic players. Or fantastic teams, no less. KAMC, what do you use for the games? You just La Liga TV. You can get a subscription for La Liga TV, and most of the games are either on OneFootball or Premier Sports, all of which you can get, and or Peacock as well. Peacock in the US. Daniel, who wins the playoff tonight? I think Sunderland. I'm going to be around. Look, obviously, I'd quite like Coventry as well, but I haven't really got a preference. I'd say Sunderland, I think, are the most likely to. Ethan, Stones, KDB, Bernardo, Grealish all go in, and our PSR situation's a lot better than you'd think. Why do you think Bernardo Silva goes? I'd be amazed if Bernardo Silva goes. Yeah. I think Bernardo Silva's brilliant. Daniel, Arteta was pictured at the Anfield Hillsborough Memorial before the game. What's up with that? Again, that's not. People keep saying like that. It's a nice thing to do. That's just a decent person. Like if he's a representative of Arsenal Football Club, that's not him being nice. It's not a kind thing. It's just a decent thing to do. He's a representative of Arsenal Football Club. He'd have to do that. It'd probably be in his contract to do so. Section 71, you watching the Cov game? Yes, mate, we'll be live straight after this one. Daniel, how are you married watching this much football? Your wife is either a gem or cheating. She's an absolute gem. Believe me, she's an absolute gem. And if she is cheating, God help him. She might be watching this. God help her. KMC. Oh, sorry, wait. Daniel, where would you like to see Delap and Hutchinson move to? Delap. I think Delap does go United. Maybe. I'd be surprised, but I think he does. Because that's probably the best, or rather, that's the most high-profile club that he could move to, that he would get the most games in. I'd quite like to see Delap go to Everton, though. I would. I'd like to see Delap go to Everton. I think he'd do all right at Everton. There seems to be a bit of a noise, a bit of a murmur around Delap going to Everton as well. I'm not sure about Hutchinson though. I think he probably stays at Ipswich. Tom, what's good, brother? Good to see you, mate. Daniel, you've got superstars, but they made a great reputation for themselves at Liverpool. Yeah, well, they did, but they were also very, very... Virgil van Dijk was £75 million worth of defender before he joined Liverpool. It wasn't just Liverpool after him, it was Liverpool and City. He turned down City to come to Liverpool. A City side that was already winning titles. So, how can you argue that Virgil van Dijk wasn't a superstar signing? Of course he was. 75 million quid. He was a superstar. Sanchez said he wanted to come back to Arsenal as soon as he signed for United. I know. Ethan, I love Bernardo and I'd keep him. Just see him going back to Portugal and us bringing in fresh legs. Morgan Gibbs White. Yeah, Gibbs White on the right would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it? Daniel, Alisson was second keeper to Szczesny at Roma. Salah bounced around you. Alisson was not second keeper to Szczesny at Roma, mate. He was the number one keeper at Roma because Liverpool played him in the Champions League semi-final the year before. He was the number one keeper at Roma. That's why we paid 70. We didn't pay 70 million quid for Roma's backup keeper, Daniel. Is this you re-messing history up? Have you misremembered it? Or are you just deliberately trying to inflame? Because you're definitely not getting it right. KAMC, Beto, good enough. Beto, good enough for Everton. Well, there's rumours linking him to Leeds, isn't there? Rumours linking him to Leeds. Dat Bobo Fine, where did you get your shirts from? Just collected them over the years, mate. Just collected them over the years. Just that one PSG shirt I bought in Paris when I was 10, 11, 12, I think. 12. Yeah, it's got Ronaldinho on the back of it. And then the other ones I've just collected over the years. You know, different shirts to take to train. I got a Monaco one there. Got a Nantes one behind me. I've got an AS Roma one with Totti on the back. Atletico Madrid, Argentina, Liverpool, Brazil, Spain World Cup shirt. Juventus is here, I think. Tom followed you, saw you in Bryn's live. Oh, Bryn's sound, isn't he? Bryn's an absolute gent. Love Bryn. Top guy, Bryn. Go and follow Bryn if you don't know Bryn. Big Everton fan. Good lad. Very nice fella. KMC, was Morgan Rogers best signing this season? Morgan Rogers best signing this season? He didn't sign for Villa this season. Morgan Rogers has been at Villa for ages, hasn't he? I mean, he didn't he move to Villa from City? Wasn't that the move a couple of years ago? But he's been at Villa for at least 2 years. I'm sure he has at least 2, maybe even 3. I don't know, but he's been there a while. He was out on loan for years. Daniel, how much was a PSG shirt when you bought it? Did you buy it from the club store? I don't know where I bought it. Again, I was only about 11, 12. It was on a school trip to Paris, and we were walking along, the Champs-Élysées, and I went into a shop, and I bought it, and I wanted Ronaldinho on the back. Because he was the star PSG player at the time. And I think Arteta was in the lineup as well then, by the way. I think Arteta was there, Kocha was there. But yeah, Ronaldinho was the star at the time. Thank God. If I'd have got that shirt and he'd have actually gone to United, I'd have been gutted. KMC might have been last Jan from Borough. He played for Middlesbrough before. Yeah, but it was loan, wasn't it? He was on loan. He signed from City, I'm sure he did. Tom, he's a proper legend. He's made a new account. He got banned off live wrongly. His new TikTok is Welsh Blue. You're joking. He got banned. Why? That's so mad. That is so mad. He's never done anything. Why would he have got banned? That's so weird. I'll find him though. Yeah, I'll find him. See if we can find him. That's gutting, isn't it? Chelsea forever on Sunday. My home town club, Cologne, can go for promotion. Nice. Yeah. Bundesliga 2's been interesting this season. Hamburg, all that's going on. I mean, to be honest, I've got Hamburg. Look, I've got my little Hamburg thing over my left shoulder there as well. We are back off here for the second half, by the way. I don't know if you're watching on YouTube, you already know that because you can see the clock and the scoreboard and everything going on. 1 second. James Lavelle, would you do a Nunes for Alvarez plus 50 million this summer? Ooh, no, I wouldn't do that. I'd maybe do Nunes plus 30. Nunes plus 30, maybe Nunes plus 20. Wouldn't go to 50 because Nunes is still a 60, 70 million pound player as he is. We could sell Nunes to Saudi for 60, 70 million. So I wouldn't be selling him for less than that. Chance. Oh, Girona very nearly. 1-0. Unlucky. It's gone behind. It's going to be a corner. A big save that from the on-loan Arsenal keeper in the Valladolid goal. Hein. Again, a very, very good save. Callum Cunha should return home to Madrid. Alvarez is back for Thursday. Callum, Kieran, is it an advantage Liverpool in the Prem next season? City will get no break if they go all the way in the Club World Cup. Do I think it's an advantage? I guess so, yeah. I suppose it is, isn't it? Because if City or Chelsea or whoever have to play another month in the Club World Cup and go deep in that, then they probably only get a few weeks, maybe 2 weeks off as to rest, and then they have to come back for pre-season. Pre-season probably starts mid-July for City, whereas it starts for most other teams a little bit earlier than that. because they've had June to rest. But if City don't get June to rest, then yeah, maybe that's a good point. That actually, Callum, I didn't even think of that. Jim, I think Chelsea and Forest miss out. Civil movement. Can Mbappe win the European Golden Shoe? I don't think he can, mate. No, not that I'm aware of. I don't know if he's that close to it. Unless you're talking about the Ballon d'Or, in which case, no, I still don't think he can win the Ballon d'Or. Jim, those League One playoffs have been set up so well. Yeah. Jim, he's been banned. You know me, the nosy Parker. Yeah, I don't know. Apparently, his new username's Welsh Blue, Bryn. So go and check him out. Yeah, he's a really, really lovely guy. I don't know why he would have been banned, because he doesn't do anything in his lives that would be untoward. But I've had telling offs and stuff as well, so I don't know. Jim, Watford have just appointed a new manager. Who've they appointed? Tell me who they've appointed. Razine, how's the game going, mate? Girona have had a goal disallowed in the first half. They've come out in the second half, and they've just had a 1v1 and a really good save from the Valladolid goalkeeper, Hein. On loan, Estonian keeper. On loan, Arsenal goalkeeper, Hein. Very, very good save. Right, sorry, let me just catch up with everything. Daniel, if PSG win the Champions League, will you wear your PSG shirt? Well, no, because it'll be a small boy's shirt, and I have only slightly, you might have noticed, put on a little bit of weight since I was about 12. So it'd be skint, it'd be a bit snug. It'd be a bit snug, I think. Civil movement, Mbappe 27 goals, Salah 28, but Mbappe got 3 games remaining. Okay. I don't know, maybe then. Maybe he could, I guess. They've got Mallorca, haven't they, this weekend? So maybe they could. Jim Pezzolano. Really? Well, I mean, I guess that makes sense because of the Pozzo's involvement. You know, maybe there's some sort of a link there. But he's ex-Valladolid manager, isn't he? He's ex-Valladolid manager. That's interesting. How mad's that? We're watching a Valladolid game and their old manager's just been appointed manager of Watford. Daniel should have got Arteta instead of Ronaldinho on the back. KMC, no from Borough. We got 20 mil for him. No, that doesn't make sense. Surely not. Surely that's not right. I don't believe that. Maybe you are right. I don't know. I thought it was only on loan. Maybe that is the case. Okay, 20 million quid. All right, well, there you go. I thought he was on loan. I thought it was directly from City. Do you know why I thought that, actually? You're right. Do you know why well, I know you're right, sorry. Do you know what I mean? I thought that because there was a newspaper article the other day where City offered Villa £100 million plus Morgan Rogers for Jack Grealish. Or 80 million plus Morgan Rogers for Jack Grealish. That was the deal that was been offered. And now City are talking about offering Jack Grealish plus 80 million for Morgan Rogers, and I thought that was dead funny. Like a few years later, it's gone completely the opposite. Arse about it. But yeah, that's where I've got that from. So apologies, I was wrong. Absolutely, hands up. Tom, he got banned because he said someone's name on TikTok. It was an offensive name, and because he said it, he got banned. Do you know what? I know what it is now. I think I was in that live. And I did think at the time, because the live went off. Oh, that's so harsh if that is the case. Do you know what? That's just someone... That's why you've got to be dead careful when someone's name comes in. Because they're always... They set it up so it looks like something else. Yeah, that's snide, that. That's really unlucky. He's a lovely lad as well. Lovely fella. Chelsea forever. Can I send you an FC Cologne one? Yeah, of course you can. That'd be amazing. I'd love it. We'll watch a bit of Cologne next season, hopefully, in the Bundesliga. Daniel, how many Premier League goals does a striker have to score in a season to be valued at 70 million quid? Probably 20, 25 minimum. Yeah. Minimum 20, 25. I think if you score less than 20 goals in a Premier League season, you've got to be unbelievably good. maybe you create a lot as well, and maybe or maybe you're very young, maybe you're 17, 18, and you're scoring 19, then you might be worth 70 million. Like Michael Owen, for example. Michael Owen, believe it or not, as good as Michael Owen is, Michael Owen won a Ballon d'Or. He never ever scored 20 Premier League goals in a season. And there's a long list of Premier League strikers who scored 20 goals in a season. Some pretty average ones as well. Even like Michael Bridges. Michael Bridges. You might not even remember Michael Bridges. You might not be old enough to remember Michael Bridges. But he was a player who played for Leeds when Leeds were a very good side in the Champions League. Michael Bridges scored 20 goals in a season. Michael Owen never ever did. So yeah, I think he would have been worth that because he was very young, and he won a Ballon d'Or. But yeah, I think you have to score 20-25 minimum. Anthony, will you ever show the score in the future on TikTok? No, I won't, mate. Never, ever, ever. The score and the scoreboard has to remain on YouTube. It's far too difficult to manage it on TikTok as well. So unless, hey, maybe if I get a full like media team and we ever make it like the big time, then maybe I can. Right now, it's just me managing it, so there's no way I can manage all the platforms plus TikTok scoreboard as well. We've got a scoreboard and everything on YouTube, but there's no way I could do it on anywhere else. It's far too difficult to manage just on YouTube sometimes. Daniel, Arsenal are due to be spending more money on keepers and left-backs. I hope not. There's no way they sign a left-back. You've got Lewis Skelly and Calafiori. There's no way Arsenal sign a left-back. Daniel, I think you could drop enough weight in 2 weeks to be able to fit in your PSG shirt. I doubt it. Here's Valladolid. Chance must be 1-0. Off the bar. Off the crossbar. Oh, it's a corner kick. Really unlucky that. They smashed it off the crossbar and bounced down, and it's gone behind for a corner to Valladolid. FM No Casuals wasn't 20, it was near 10. Adam 464AD, where should Dean Hyson go? I hope he goes to Liverpool. He's been linked with Liverpool, he's been linked with Arsenal, he's been linked with Chelsea, he's been linked with Real Madrid. He's basically got his pick of clubs, hasn't he, Dean Hyson? Fabulous player. Very good player. Razine, gotta say, you got a lot of potential to become a top subscribed football content channel. Appreciate it, bud. Oh, thanks, mate. You're very kind. Oh, well, listen, we're trying. I'm learning. We've only been going since January. We've got nearly 5,000 subs, so we shall see. I'll certainly try. Ball into the near post here off the corner, and the ref's given a penalty. It's a handball. It's a handball at the near post. What happened here? There's an absolute outrage from Girona here. This would be a big goal if Valladolid somehow got it. Oh, you can't give a pen for that. That's not a penalty. It's a corner whipped into the near post, and it's Francis. It's Francis who's got the. He's going to go and check it. He's got to go and check this. I don't think you can give a penalty for that. There's going to be a a VAR review. He's going to go and have a look at it. There's no way you can give a pen for that. He jumps, and he turns away like that. He's not even looking. He turns away, and you can't give a penalty for that. No way. Daniel, what was the name said? I'm not going to say the name for obvious reasons because I'll get manned. Tom, he's a lovely guy. Everyone here follow. He would love it. He's a legend. Is his username actually Welsh Blue? Is that it? If it's just Welsh Blue, yeah, I would fully advise everyone, go and check him out. Go and search him. He's a top guy. Lovely fella. Really nice fella. And speaks good stuff about footy as well. Even for a blue. I'm a Liverpool fan and I'm promoting a blue. No problem. But he's a lovely guy. Really like Bryn. FM No Casuals, yeah. Michael Bridges is from my neck of the woods. Is he really? Adam 464AD, Kevin Phillips scored 30 Prem goals. He was some player, wasn't he, Kevin Phillips? Some player. Right, it's been turned over. No VAR, no penalty. Thank the Lord. We've got some common sense in football. Ethan, who do you think has the best transfer window? I think, in terms of net improvement, Spurs. Don't ask me why. I think what we're going to see with Spurs... I do think Spurs win the Europa League, by the way. I'm sticking with that. I think Spurs win the Europa League, and I think, in terms of improvement from this season's position to next, I think we could see Spurs maybe challenging up and around the top 6 again next season, if they get it right. If they get the summer window right. Because I expect we'll see maybe Romero leave. I think Ange Postecoglou, if he wins the Europa, he'll get more time. I think he'll get a bit more money. We'll see Richarlison go. Maybe Son will go, or maybe Son becomes less of maybe more of a cameo player. There might be some other signings, who sort of other players who move on. But it really wouldn't surprise me if Spurs step up next season. So yeah, I think in terms of net improvement, Spurs would be one to watch. I like what Pereira's doing at Wolves, and their recruitment's always bang on, isn't it? So if Cunha goes, you'd just expect him to go and reel off another top centre forward from somewhere. So yeah, I quite like Wolves. I quite like Spurs. I think both of those would win the window, I guess, in terms of how far they would move up the table. Maybe West Ham and Graham Potter too, although their recruitment's never historically been all that smart. Daniel, now apply your 70 million striker criteria to Núñez. He scored 25 goals in 3 seasons. The difference is with Darwin Núñez is that he is still of an age and of a profile that is very, very rare in football. So, for example, Darwin Núñez has done it elsewhere, hasn't he? He's done it elsewhere. He's not a centre-forward that's come in and played lots and lots at Liverpool either. So, we'll put it this way. Darwin Núñez, if he stayed at Liverpool, I don't think you'd find... I think the majority of the Liverpool fan base, maybe not the majority, but it'd be split. It'd be a split decision. I think there's certainly a core of Liverpool fans, let's say 50-50, certainly, would be all right with him staying. Would be fine with Darwin Núñez staying, that want him to succeed. I'm one of them, if I'm honest. I really like Darwin Núñez. I think he's a very, very good player. The problem has been he just doesn't get a lot of games. He doesn't get a run of games. So I think Darwin Núñez absolutely. Plus, by the way, I'm not saying he's worth 70 million, maybe UK and European market. 70 million would be with Saudi tax. Maybe to the European market, he's 50, 55, maybe 60 at a push. So that's why I said, if we was getting Alvarez, I think Alvarez is probably 80. So maybe 20 million plus Núñez, maybe 30 million plus Núñez. Not 50. Daniel, will there be goal animations on TikTok? Nope, absolutely not. Only on YouTube, because we don't have them on TikTok. On TikTok, there's no scoreboard, there's no nothing. On YouTube, we have them. So we have a nice scoreboard. We have a lovely scoreboard and a clock and everything. And when there's goal animations going in, you can see them all. So yeah, bit of a more of a professional setup on YouTube. Tom, Welsh Blue is his new one. Perfect. Yep, definitely go and follow him, guys. Top guy. Daniel, will you go to watch any games next season? No, not anymore. I've done my watching football days at grounds are over. Long over. And it's for 2 reasons. One, it's far too expensive now. It's not a working class game. So I've been all over the world. I've been all over the world watching Liverpool. I've been to a lot of stadiums. I love going watching footy. I'll probably still go and watch the occasional game, but it'll be mainly non-league. It won't be Liverpool. Or I'll probably go back to Liverpool to watch with my little girl, or if I have a little boy in future and he wants to go or whatever. But I'd probably take me little. I'm not that bothered now. I've done that. I've been to the games home and away, thousands of them over the years. I've been to cup finals, big Champions League semi-finals. I've done the Champions League aways. They're fantastic. They're amazing. It's too expensive now. I've got a family, so there's absolutely no way I'm paying hundreds and thousands of pounds going watching Liverpool around the world. I've done it. That's maybe a younger man's game. That's a different thing, so it's not for me. And also, by the way, the other reason why I wouldn't do it is because they've started doing frigging light shows at stadiums. Now, I'm epileptic. I can't deal with light shows. If you start whacking strobe lights on in stadiums, which is what they're doing nowadays, it's no good for me. So I can't do it. I wouldn't do it. It's pointless. So, yeah, no, I won't be going watching any games next season. Daniel Tierney leaves. Calafiori is injury prone. Zinchenko's linked to leave. Tomiyasu's injured. Yeah, but still, you've got Lewis Skelly there, so he's not just going to all of a sudden... He's not going to have Lewis Skelly and nobody. It's going to be Lewis Skelly and Calafiori will stay and be backup. Or Calafiori will be number one when he's fit and Lewis Skelly will be backup. There's no need for Arsenal to sign a left-back. Again, that's probably FIFA think, I would argue. Adam, 46AD, never wagered against Arteta signing a goalkeeper or left-back. I'd probably sign some small ones, maybe. Small, cheap signings, I guess. Ludovic Argo, hi from Saint-Etienne, France. You know, yes, love Saint-Etienne. Great team, Saint-Etienne. Anthony's TRFFC account, mute on TikTok and say it on YouTube. Say what on YouTube? I can't say it. No, because again, you might still get banned on there. It doesn't make any sense. I'm not going to say it. Daniel, what do you think of the multi-club model? It's kind of the way football's going, isn't it? Leeds benefiting from it more recently with Red Bull. Chelsea doing it very well. City doing it very well. Liverpool looking to do it. So yeah, I mean, I don't love it. I don't love it, but it is just the way that football's going. So, in an ideal world, they would create laws that would be a bit fairer and a bit more sustainable. But they're not particularly bothered about doing that. They're just, again, it's corruption at the top level, isn't it? They're quite happy to keep accepting money from whoever it is who's making it. Who's offering it up. Jake, Spurs, Adam, why didn't James Beattie or Francis Jeffers live up to potential? They just weren't very good. Ludovic Argo, you know Saint-Etienne, French team? Yes, of course, I know Saint-Etienne. Saint-Etienne, the home of Aubameyang and Kurt Zouma and lots of other very, very good players over the years. Didn't Payet play for Saint-Etienne? Lots of very good players have played for Saint-Etienne over the years. And Saint-Etienne had a great European night with my team, Liverpool, as well. So, yeah, I love Saint-Etienne. No problem with Saint-Etienne. Daniel Cunha is a unique talent and Wolves already have another striker scoring goals. Well, they don't. They only have him on loan, don't they? Strand Larsen. Daniel, if Nunes is good, he'd be playing games. It's very rare a good player sits on the bench. Yeah, I just think he hasn't really... It's partially his fault with Darwin Núñez. It's partially his fault. It's partially he's not really had the support around him. That's what I would say. And like he's probably been unlucky last season in that he scored big goals. This has been the disappointing thing with Darwin Núñez. He's come into the team after time out, maybe with injuries or whatever, and then he's gone and played against, say, Newcastle away. He came off the bench against Newcastle with Liverpool down to 10 men, and he scores 2 unbelievable finishes, wins us the game, and then doesn't get a run of starts. The same sort of thing happened this season under Arne Slot. He scored against Southampton, turned the game around against Southampton, won the penalty for us. He did the same against Brentford earlier in the season. He did the same against Nottingham Forest last season. He's had really big moments for Liverpool, and it often doesn't result in him getting picked and for starts and a run of starts. And I think Darwin Núñez is one of them strikers who needs a run of starts and an arm round the shoulder to say, you're our number 9, we believe in you. And I think he's one of them. If he gets that confidence, then he probably does do well somewhere. I do think he could go and do well in another top European league. We've seen other Uruguayan strikers. Diego Forlan was dreadful at Manchester United. He was considered a flop. And then he went to Villarreal, Atletico Madrid. He won the Pichichi. He was one of the best centre-forwards in Europe. So I think Darwin Núñez would be in the same vein as Diego Forlan. Daniel, even lower league is expensive in England. It depends where you go. Some cracking away games you can go to. Cracking grounds you can get to. I mean, I've been and watched like National League. I've been and watched Altrincham a few times at Moss Lane. I've been and watched Crewe at Gresty Road quite a few times. I've not really done Wrexham at the racecourse ground. I've done it a few times in pre-season games. But no, as I say, the focus is on this channel, growing this channel. So I want to be in front of the camera watching the games as much as I possibly can now. I've got a young family, so I'm not focusing too much on going to games. I still miss going to games, and I'm sure I will still go to a few, but I'm not that bothered about them anymore. I've done that side of it. Daniel, could you source tickets for your fans? I guess so. I mean, yeah, I still know a few people who can get tickets. If I wanted to get tickets to some games, I'm sure I could. But, yeah, I've not been to games for... The last Liverpool game I went to was against Lask Linz last year. Me and my dad went to that one last year in the Europa League. We won 4-0. That was a good game. I've not been to a game since. I've not even been to a game this season. Daniel, would you be okay with wearing sunglasses during a light show? No. No, doesn't work like that. Can you watch fireworks? No. Daniel, I think the multi-club model is outdated. Would you like to see Núñez play as a striker or a winger? Striker. Definitely as a striker. Jake, Newcastle have offered Jonathan David a contract. Interesting. Daniel, what's your name? Or would you like to only be known as Premier League Dad? No, my name's Key. Most people call me Key. K-E-E. That's what most people refer to me as. You can call me that. You can call me Premier League Dad. You can call me whatever you want. Most people do. I've been called much worse. So yeah, whatever you want to call me. But most people call me Key. Ethan, Falcao the same, Elite at Atletico, Bobbins at Chelsea and United, and then Elite again at Monaco. It happens a lot, doesn't it? Yeah, it happens a lot. Sometimes it's about the right fit, the right environment, the right culture, the right manager. And I really do think that we'll see Darwin Núñez kick on somewhere. I hope he doesn't go to Saudi, because I like Darwin Núñez. I think he's a good player. Edward, Kieran Ange has already told Daniel Levy that he's leaving no matter what happens in the cup final. I've not seen that reported anywhere, Edward. Callum Gerrard back to Rangers, I think. Yeah, that'd be interesting. I mean, do you think Rangers get rid of Barry Ferguson? Not sure. John Marsden, hi all, play up Sky Blues. Hopefully we can win tonight. Oh, we're approaching kickoff, aren't we? Yeah, we're approaching kickoff. We're in the last sort of 20 minutes here. And then as soon as this one finishes, we're going to switch straight over to Sunderland and Coventry. So, yeah. Callum, will you cover Atleti Thursday, or is there another game scheduled? I think we are doing Osasuna Atleti, but go on, if to be certain, mate, go and have a look on YouTube. The schedule's all I think we are doing Atleti and Osasuna. Liam, thoughts on the Canate situation? Sorry, Daniel, nice chatting with you, Key. Have a good one, mate. Check in later. Cheers, Daniel. Yeah, good speaking with you, man. Thoughts on the Canate situation? I think he goes. Sadly, I think he goes, yeah. Adam, 464AD, first Liverpool game you watched, live or on TV? The first Liverpool game that I watched, I don't know about on TV. On TV, I think the first Liverpool game that I watched was Liverpool against Fulham in a League Cup game, and Robbie Fowler scored. I think he scored 5, actually. I mean, he scored, but either way, Robbie Fowler scored, and I was in love. And after that, I kind of watched it sporadically because I was only quite young. I remember us against Newcastle, the 4-3 against Newcastle. I remember us getting beat by Strasbourg in a European game. I remember Liverpool against Celtic at Parkhead. All of these were on TV. Lots of European games, because back then I only really watched Match of the Day. I didn't really watch too much like live football, because Liverpool weren't really on telly back then. There was, apart from the odd European game on Channel 5 or something, so we didn't really have Liverpool on telly all that much then. And plus, when we were growing up, believe it or not, Liverpool only got to one cup final. Liverpool only got to one cup final when from the time I started watching football. And we got beaten that against Man United as well. So, the first game I ever went to was in the UEFA Cup, and it was Slovan Liberec. Liverpool Slovan Liberec, first ever game, and it was Emil Heskey who scored in an 85th minute winner, beaten 1-0. And I'm sure either Michael Owen or Robbie Fowler missed a penalty. But yeah, I was only about 10, maybe 9 or 10. Scousel, you're not watching the playoffs? We are, mate. Yeah, we're going to be live in about 10 minutes for that one. So as soon as, well, not 10. As soon as this game goes off, there's 15, 20 minutes left on this one. And as soon as it finishes, we're going to switch over to Sunderland and Coventry. So yeah, we are going to watch it. Anthony, apparently Frank Lampard got sacked. No, surely not. Not on the eve of this game. FM No Casuals, two very poor sides here. Yeah, it's been a bit rough, hasn't it? Black, what's the game like? This one, I mean, we've had a penalty given, ruled out for VAR, for a handball. It wasn't a handball, it was correctly ruled out. We had a goal given in the first half, ruled out for offside. We've had a few other chances. Valladolid have hit the crossbar. Girona have had a couple of chances on the counter, but it's not been a great game. I mean, we're looking at rock bottom of La Liga, Valladolid, and Girona, who are only maybe 3 points off the relegation places. So yeah, it's two poor sides. I think what FM No Casuals has just said there, it's two poor sides. Edward, they said it on TalkSport this morning about Ange. Yeah, well, I was going to say that'll just be a rumour, mate. Callum, it's League One live scheduled, and Rayo Betis. Yeah, so it'll probably just be them two then, mate. I don't think we'll be doing the 7 PM one in the middle, because obviously that'll mean one of those games overlaps. Adam 464AD, Heskey doesn't get the appreciation he deserves. I know. Yeah, I love Emil Heskey. Top player. Top player. And it was a great goal as well. You can actually see it on YouTube. If you search Liverpool against Slovan Liberec on YouTube, you can see the full game. Someone has uploaded the full game on YouTube and it hasn't got taken down. So I do occasionally go back and revisit that game. Emil Heskey at the Kop end smashed it in. And I wasn't even in that end. I was in the Anfield Road stand at the opposite end of the pitch. But I always remember walking up. It was a night match. It was a Thursday night match. Walked up to up the stands, up the turnstiles, out, and the pitch was just like a carpet. And I was like, bang! I was hooked. It was the dopamine hit me, and I've never ever felt anything like it since. Other than my little girl being born, that was the peak. Walking out and seeing Anfield, like as a 9-year-old kid with my dad, that was unbelievable. So. Yeah, that's why the channel's still about now. Ethan, refreshing to have a streamer who's not constantly rage baiting like all the big channels. Well, anyway, look, I'll never ever say anything I don't believe, mate. I'll never ever say anything I don't believe, or at least not that I can't back up. But yeah, I'm with you. I don't like that. There's too much of that, isn't there, on YouTube and other channels? It's people saying stuff to try and just get clicks and likes and whatever. And maybe that's why I won't make it in the end. maybe I'm destined to stay kind of lower mid. I'll be quite happy if we make it anywhere sort of close to them. If I can still keep my principles and not have to rage bait people every 5 minutes. If you catch me doing that, if you ever catch me doing that, then you feel free to unfollow. But that's not my mantra, mate. I don't really want to be saying, I can't believe... Goldbridge doesn't have to do it anymore, really, does he? This is the beauty of it. I think Goldbridge earned all his followers, didn't he, at the start, by doing the rage baiting. And now he's got to a level where he's doing really well. He doesn't have to do it now. He doesn't have to do it. He can just kind of react how he normally would react. John Marsden, he's not been sacked. Looked it up, mate. Wow, okay. Clarkson Crane, shout out to you. Cal from Canada just came across your channel and I subscribed. Keep up the good work. Cheers. Thanks, Cal. From Canada. Wow. Amazing. I love that we get so many people from around the world watching. It's mad. It still puzzles me, but I love it. Thank you so much. I appreciate the kind words. I've never been to Canada as well. I've always wanted to go. I'd love to go to Canada one day. But yeah, I'm not a rage baiter, but I would like to think I'm like the Jimmy Carr. Do you know Jimmy Carr? If you watch Jimmy Carr's one of the hardest working comedians. He tends to do every sort of gig he can do, every venue. I'd like to think I do every game going, so we'll do more watch-alongs than pretty much any other channel. Vinny Singh, are you commentating on the match? If there was anything to commentate on, Vinny, with this one, I promise you I would, mate. This one's been one of the worst matches I've seen. I've been doing watch-alongs on this channel since January. At least one watch-along every single day. Sometimes two. On a Saturday and a Sunday, we do 4 back-to-back. 4 Saturday, 4 Sunday. This is probably the worst game I've seen this season. And there's been some bad ones. Actually, no. City against Man United, the 0-0 at Old Trafford was worse than this. At least we've seen, penalty claims and a shot in the crossbar and a goal disallowed. We've seen some things in this one, but the quality has been dreadful. It has been really, really dreadful. So there's not really a lot going on. Girona have got the ball here. They're knocking it around towards the edge of the area, but there's not really anything happening. Every time they do get within the edge of the area, either Valladolid foul them, which they've just done. As I've said that, Sigankov's just been fouled. Or it breaks down. It's been a pretty poor game. As I say, as of now, I would say Girona are the more likely. Girona have got most of the ball, and Valladolid are hitting on the counter-attack. They're pushing forward and hitting on the counter-attack. And that's what we've just seen, obviously. Valladolid shooting up the other end, smashing it off the crossbar. It bounced down and went away for a corner. But it's a free kick here to Girona. It's about 40 yards out, and Sigankov is over it. It looks like he's actually lining up for a shot here, to be honest. It's like a Roberto Carlos style run up this. He's had a go. It's a deflection. It's come all the way through. Pulled it across, tap in, 1-0. There you go. There you go. That's how quickly it can change. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0 Girona, Vinny. You asked and I've delivered. It's 1-0. There you go. Let's get the old. Let's get the clock going. Not the clock. Let's get the clock and the scoreboard running. Sorry. There you go. We're on 80 minutes gone, and Girona have scored 1-0. Anthony, hello from sunny UK. Good to see you, Anthony. It's not quite Canada, but is he onside? It's a shot from Sigankov from 40 yards out. It deflects twice and then sort of fizzes into the path of the number 5 of Girona. He pulls it back across goal. And who is it? Is it Abel Ruiz? Who is it who actually taps it in? Let's just watch this. He pulls it back, and it's the number 7. It's the number 7. Yeah, it's a great. I mean, it's about as sloppy as we've seen this game be. That's kind of a fitting goal. It isn't Ruiz who scored it. Is it Stuani? Is it Stuani who scored? Who is it who scored it? Yeah, Stuani. Christian Stuani. He's 38. He's 38, ex-Borough. Christian Stuani, no way. So there you go. We've got Valladolid 0, Girona 1. We have actually had a goal in this one now. And it's now no longer the worst game that we've seen this season. But yeah, there you go, Vinny. Well done. Well done. You had Girona to win. Looks like you're going to get your wish now, mate. Valladolid are going to push forward, I'm sure. But it looks very much like we'll see this finishing a 1-0 win for Girona now. Even with 10 minutes left, I'm not confident Valladolid push up the other end and get anything. Right, it's a free kick now on the edge of the area to Valladolid. Is that Danjuma? Danjuma's just got in trouble there. Poor from Danjuma. Very poor. Callum, give us a quick Osasuna versus Atleti prediction. 1-1. Yeah, 1-1, I think. I think Osasuna have been really good recently. And I think they can cause Atleti problems. Away from home, Atleti haven't been so solid either. So I would go for an Osasuna draw. Score draw. John, I see you have your pink mug again, mate. Yes, I do, mate. Sorry. Forgot to clock that earlier. Yeah. Pink mug. Ball in, and it's gone straight behind. Straight behind there. Another wasted opportunity for Valladolid. I'm hoping they don't give too long in terms of injury time, because as it stands, it's saying we've got 6.5 minutes left here, plus injury time. If they give maybe 5 minutes of injury time, we'll only have like 3 or 4 minutes to turn it round for Coventry and Sunderland. Callum Spider-Man is back, 0-2 Atletico. Soloff double. Well, hey, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see, mate. It'll be good. We'll watch it and we'll see how they get on. Long ball forward. Again, it's a bit of head tennis here. It's going to be a Valladolid free kick. Punch long again by Girona. Callum Alvarez is Spider-Man. We call him that. Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know he was called Spider-Man. Okay. Why'd you call him Spider-Man? Right, we've got 5 minutes to go. 5 minutes to go. Let's take a quick look at the Sunderland and Coventry teams while we've got a bit of a lull, I guess, here. It doesn't look like there's an awful lot going on in the last few minutes here. Sociedad have had another bad night, by the way, Callum. I don't know if you're keeping up with it, but Sociedad are a goal down to Celta Vigo in Spain. That's not looking like a particularly happy night for them either. Sunderland and Coventry, here we go. So, Sunderland, it's Patterson in goal. It's Hume, Ballard, Lucanine and Sirkin left back. Patrick Roberts, Dan Neil, Bellingham and Lafay. And then it's Mayenda and Isidore up front yet again. That's going to be a really tough line for them to try and break. Wilson in goal for Coventry. De Silva left, Kitching and Thomas, and then Van Newick at right back. Grimes and Sakamoto sitting. No, surely not. Grimes and Sheaf sitting. I was going to say they've got this all wrong. Grimes and Sheaf sitting. Rodoni in the 10. Sakamoto right. Hadji left. And Mason Clark. Efron Mason Clark is starting. That's interesting. I know he's had a fair bit of football for Coventry this season, but I would have thought we would have seen Thomas Asante maybe starting more. Obviously, he played a little bit better when he came on the other night. Interesting. Okay. So Rigg has been left on the bench for Sunderland. So yeah, so we'll be switching over to Sunderland in just a few minutes. Ethan, it's his nickname, El Araña the Spider. Oh, right, okay. I didn't know that. Callum, because he's small and he creeps in behind and scores / shoots his web. Callum, he ran all over Sociedad. Yeah, it was a good performance, that, wasn't it? First half, anyway. I mean, the second half was pretty drab, but it was a good performance. Scott Grice, I say Coventry win tonight and go to Wembley, and Coventry win 4-3. Okay, listen, I'll be happy with that. Coventry back up in the Prem. Coventry or Sunderland, we've got 2 out of 3 chances as far as I'm concerned. I don't want Sheffield United up, so Cov or Sunderland, I would be delighted with. Yeah. But I have to say, I'm kind of rethinking Sheffield United, because I've been saying for weeks and months that I don't really want them coming up. I really don't want Sheffield United coming up. And I was really impressed with them last night. Like, forget the scoreline. I actually thought they played really well. Like, the football was good. They actually started to play some good stuff. You can't be a Premier League side with Kiefer Moore up front. Kiefer Moore's not a Premier League striker. Tom Cannon, again, not a Premier League striker. And I don't really think Tyrese Campbell is either, and Rhian Brewster certainly isn't. So I don't know. I really don't want Sheffield United coming up. Scott Grice, I hate Sunderland, mate. Why do you hate Sunderland? Callum, to be fair to Cholo, he's not been as stubborn and the football is looking better. There's still nothing doing here. We're into the last couple of minutes of normal time. Sheffield United are a boring guaranteed 20th. Yeah, I feel the same, Ethan. That's my thought process as well, and I don't like Wilder. It's mad how maybe that's just a... Because there's a load of people said the same to me. I wonder if that's just a vibe that we're all getting, because I feel the same. Yeah. But that would spur you on, wouldn't it? If I was a Sheffield United fan, I'd quite like that. I'd almost, you'd bind together over that. But it frustrates me as well that Bramall Lane always seems empty, doesn't it? It always seems empty. I've never ever seen it like chock full, like with an unbelievable atmosphere, Bramall Lane bouncing. It just doesn't look like it's... And you can't even say that Sheffield's not a football town, Wednesday and Sheffield United's always been a good rivalry, but I've always preferred Wednesday to Sheffield United. But Sheffield United, the fact that they don't fill Bramall Lane, every time you see it, it's always half empty. I don't want him in the Prem for that reason as much as Chris Wilder. But I will hold my hands up and say I admit that the football was a lot better last night than I've given credit for. I've been saying they're a bunch of yard dogs and, Kiefer Moore's not a Premier League striker, he's dreadful, you don't want that in the Prem, and yeah, I don't know, they played alright last night. I have to give credit to Chris Wilder where it's due, even if I don't like him. Sam Savini, I want a new team in the league like Coventry. Well, yeah, Coventry haven't been in the league for 25 years. I mean, again, I'm old enough to remember Coventry being in with, Gary McAllister and all them, Darren Huckabee, Robbie Keane, Mustafa Hadji, Yusuf Cheapo, Steve Froggatt. A lot of good players Coventry had in the 90s under that Gordon Strachan side. Chris Kirkland, of course. Yeah, lots of good players. So I actually really liked Sunderland as well when they played with Kevin Phillips and Niall Quinn. Right, Girona, just absolute hoofball. We've got 5 added minutes here. This isn't what we wanted. 5 added minutes. Sam Savini showing your age, yeah. FM No Casuals. Aloisi, yeah, John Aloisi. John Aloisi, bloody hell, there you go. Steve Grizovic, handsome Steve Grizovic. The beautiful man. Trying to think of just random Coventry players now. Israel Zuniga was another one. Peruvian striker. He had that Subaru kit, didn't he? That like sky blue Subaru kit. Right, so we are we're approaching the last couple of minutes here now. And then we can turn it over and get straight on to Coventry as well. Sam Savini, who do you reckon is going to have the best transfer window? We asked this, I was going to say, someone asked me this question before. I think the biggest improvement in teams will be Spurs and Wolves. Like, I think there's a lot of teams who'll do well in the transfer window, and all that's still to be determined. Liverpool will have big changes, City will have big changes. I'm sure Newcastle will make some good signings, Arsenal too. But I think in terms of signings that help them move the needle and get them from their current, whatever their current Premier League position is, to whatever it'll be next season, I think Spurs do win the Europa League. I think they signed some decent players in the summer to help them kick on, and Ange stays, and assuming they keep a lot of their players injury free, they've got the bones of a very good side there. I think Vicario's a good keeper. Maddison, I think, is very, very underrated. I think Bergvall's exceptional. I really like Archie Gray. We've talked a lot about the centre-backs, whether it be if Romero stays, Van der Ven, Udogie, Spence, Porro. Centre-forward and the wide players are a little bit of an issue, but they're a really, really good side, I think, Spurs, and I'd quite like to see them kick on next season. Valladolid, shots, cleared away. 2.5 minutes to go here. Should be 1-1. I know I was going to say there's been some half chances since they've started passing it around a little bit more. He should have scored that then. Assuming that's the one you're talking about. Free header. Over the bar, and we've got 1.5 minutes left. 2 minutes left. Be glad to see the back of nothing clubs like Southampton. Southampton aren't a nothing club. You can't say that. Southampton are a good side and a good club, but I think they were very, very naive in how they came up with Russell Martin this season. And they just got it all wrong. And you've also got to remember, they snuck in, didn't they? Didn't they finish 6th? They snuck into the playoffs and managed to get up that way. I don't think they were Premier League ready. And they were just chancing their arm when they came up last season. I'm sure they were delighted to be in the Premier League, but they weren't like third. Like if Sheffield United came up this year, you could say, well, you know what, at least they are the third best team in the Championship coming up across a full season. FM No Casuals, Robbie Keane, Dion Dublin, yeah. Robbie Keane and Dion Dublin. I'm trying to think who the other one. Did Dean Holdsworth play for Coventry? I don't know why I know Dean Holdsworth played for Bolton, but for some reason I've got him playing for Coventry in my head. I'll have to check that now. I've got my head on Dean Holdsworth playing for Coventry. Lots of surprise links for Arsenal getting Rodrigo. I don't know where that's come from. I really can't see it. It wouldn't make any sense at all. They've got enough wide players at Arsenal. They're overloaded with wide players. If they're keeping Trossard as well, and he's obviously about to sign a new contract, doesn't make any sense for him to go and get a Rodrigo. There's a claim for a penalty here from Valladolid, but you're not getting it. There's no way you're getting it. The ref's going to check it, but I think that's going to be it, to be honest. I think that's going to be it. We are approaching the final seconds, and we're 3 minutes away from bloody Sunderland, so come on. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. It's a corner kick to Valladolid. Ball into the box. Cleared away. And is he blown up? Has he blown up? We need to get over. We need to get over to Sunderland Coventry very quickly. Are you still watching that game? Yeah, mate. It's oh, and he has blown up. He has blown up. Right. I'm going to end it very quickly because I've got to get over to Sunderland. Right. I'm going to move over to Sunderland. I'll see you again in about 2 minutes. Give me